It's the Tanya Burn Show. Tune in right now. Like and share. Our city needs that vow. Flint City News got truth to share. When we fight the darkness, we repair. Won't give up. We're standing tall and proud. Voices rising strong, no longer shrouded. Residents deserve what's right and fair. Together we can lift the despair. We fight, we win, we break the chains. Tanya Burns won't stand out in the rain. Our city dreams will make them true. With every step it all renews. Renew, step it all renews.
Hey everyone, it's been a minute. Listen, wherever you are from, and I see the chat going on the side, do me a favor, click like, share, put in where you're coming from or where you're at. And look, it's been a minute, y'all. It's been a lot going on. So I want to say first to my producer Jay, because we have it's almost like we are old friends, good friends. We just kind of, it's very one-on-one, but we make it happen. We keep it, 100 with us. So I want to say thank you to producer Jay, because your girl had to take some time off. And it's been a lot going on. So producer Jay, are you in here?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here. What's up?
How you doing? And thank you for what you do. And I want to say thank you. I didn't tell you earlier, I wanted to save it to the show. Thank you for keeping on Facebook the Tanya Burns Show and keeping everything going and keeping track, because your girl was tired. I think I had like a sleep coma. I was like, I've been exhausted. And so I want to tell you, thank you for what you do to make sure the messaging, the content, the things that we don't have enough time to talk about Flint, because we have other people doing a spin on Flint, but you make sure that we are on the same page. I also want to say thank you to Patrick Jean, who was a moderator. Thank you, Patrick Jean. I appreciate you also. I literally really have not been on social media at all or watched the news. I also want to say thank you to Sheena Beckton. She's another moderator, and Sheena and I do another show. So I want to say thank you to each and everyone that works on my team. And my team, y'all some outsiders. My outside team. But I also want to say thank you to the women that I work with that we are called the Color of Law Coalition. I want to say thank you to each and every one of those women, because they understand what we need to do as a city, that we need to move as a group. So I want to say thank you to them also. So tonight, and I literally have had to rewrite the show. And I don't know how many series this is going to be, part 1, 2, or 3, because I didn't do the other one because your girl needed to pull back. I want people to understand that when you are writing a show or run a show, and my content, I put up the facts to show. So if I say we didn't pass a resolution, I put the resolution up, and then I describe what the resolution is for. Hey, Sandy, and I'm gonna run back. That thing got kind of large for me to go through all of this. And so it takes a lot of time, because I don't want people to say, well, she just said that. I made it up, like that public safety plan that doesn't exist, that they have been removing people from city council. I like to show my works cited. Where did I get it from? So to my team that is here who helps with this show, then I want to say also my other team, which is Mayor Dr. Karen Weaver and Landon Hendricks of Hendricks Studios, because I work with a good group of people. So everybody has seen what I seen. 810 Flint. I want to say shouts out to you, Xavier, because you rock. Xavier Beyond Stuff. He literally go over to 8110 Flint on YouTube or on Facebook. He keeps like a video library, literally. And one thing I like about that is that we can go back. So I know that is I'm gonna go back because I'm gonna thank everybody because I appreciate y'all. Look, I can't do it on here. I got my nails done and they just not cooperate. So I got to scan the old fashioned way, y'all.
Hey,
so,
when you get a minute, check your inbox.
Oh, I can do that. Which inbox? The
on Facebook.
Oh, look, you got me all up in the wrong other one. Okay. Let me do that. Okay. I got it. So I want to say thank you. Let me run this down to everybody. I want to, because I'm going to say the names on here, because one thing I appreciate is each and every one of you for supporting me and supporting Flint. Literally, y'all, I had and what made me pop on, because look, I was like, I'm going to take the week off. I'm going to just, continue to, pour into myself, because I think I forgot to do that. And when you forget to do that, I was literally exhausted. And when you sit in those meetings and you feel like you're fighting for your life and the people and everything, you're tired. And so listening to some of the stuff, and I'm like, I saw the one 8110 Flint put up the one where AK Cole. If you in Flint, you will get doxxed by, if you don't agree with Councilmember Liddell Lewis, she's going to come after you. And she's unapologetic about it. The stuff isn't truthful. It's just a spin on the narrative. Her narrative is negative. It always makes her look better and the other person bad. She's done one on me, sent fake text, and literally sent fake text and posts to the pastors. She not only did that, she did it to Jonathan Jerry. She's done Jerry Murphy Carter. She just recently did it to AK Cole, which was kind of surprising. But I do want to say nothing is unfortunately beneath her. And one thing my decision to start doing the podcast was to make sure we were putting the truth out there, making sure you knew where it came from. So let me stop this part. And then I'm gonna get back to this, because we're gonna have a special guest on. And this special guest, you're gonna like him. You've heard about him, and we're gonna ask some questions. So I want to say thank you to Gutter Black, R. Murphy, Mr. LC2U, Drew Lena. We got Memphis, Texas. We got New York City. We got Sequoia, Sydney Green from Dallas, Texas. We got I Ain't Going. And I just like saying that because, ain't is not supposed to be a word when you do proper English. So I like doing that. That's like drinking before you're 21. Joseph Williams, Miss J, hello, Aluna Calloway Lang, Granny G from Grand Rapids, Michigan, Avis Hopkins, Jimmy from Massachusetts, M.A. crooked letter, Randall McGee, David Bergeron, Kamala Buford, Ernestine Smith, Tara, hey, Jeremiah, what's up from Detroit East Side? Jeremiah, I was in Detroit. I should have called you. I was spending time with my daughter. Christopher Sims, Nay Lachey, Tara, Trey Day 03, St. Mark Missionary Baptist Church. By the way, they will be having a food giveaway tomorrow at St. Mark's Church. If you can drop what time. Bobby Jones, what's up? Y'all, Bobby, look, I know I'm getting off the track. Bobby Jones was like the godfather to my daughter. He was the unofficial but official godfather. Him and my daughter share the same birthday, August 1st. And he would always buy her like really nice stuff. I mean, he bought her diamond earrings. She was like a little girl. Gold bracelet, necklace. He was buying her like $95 jackets. I'm like, look, we're not doing that. I had another child. But he was so good. He's retired from the Saginaw Fire Department, and he is a Mason. Great man, great person, Bobby Jones. Um, Pastor Thompson, put in what time your food giveaway is tomorrow. St. Max Baptist Church will be giving out food tomorrow. They will be giving out food tomorrow. So please put your time in there, Pastor Thompson. Stanley, I called you today. Stanley, you didn't get the memo. I was on vacation. He sent like a long text. Listen, everybody else been calling anyways, too. Calling, inboxing, and everything. Kamala Buford, Debbie Clark. Hey, Debbie. Margaret Swanson, the new VIP room, the Flint Caskets. AK is in the chat. TMB. Hey, Randall McGee. Tom Denanen. Sandy Odell. I went to court with Sandy yesterday, and my days have been running together with her and Brooke. She goes back July, I think, 21st. She had $2,500 bond. She had filled the courtroom up with support where she was removed because her and Brooke had the number 15. And you can't talk to the city clerk and you can't talk to the council, the city attorney, because Liddell made up a rule that doesn't exist. So we're going to talk about that. The TMB, Carson Newbar, Lenora Seal, Dr. Padroni, B. Marie, Angela Lynette, Avis Hopkins. Y'all know it's out here. Kimiana, Odessa, Texas. Look, that's a long one. Hey, girl. Felicia Martinez. Hey there. JP6, Berta Baby. I just like saying that because it's two B's in there. But hey, Berta Baby. Hey, staff. Let me see. Kawana. Hey, Kawana. Tasha Lynn. Cheryl Hart. And if I'm missing I may have to go to this side because this side don't show everything that is on here. So if I did not say your name, listen, charge it to my mind and not my heart because your girl is rested now. Look, I got, crap. What is this? Look, these nails might be coming off, y'all. Okay. So, Denise, hey. Kevin Lofton, North Carolina. Look, I was trying to go all the way back up. Pastor Martez Warren, okay? And congratulations, Pastor Warren. You have a book that is coming out. He has a book signing that is coming out. Demetria Cooley Payton. Okay, so I think I done got just about everybody. Beverly Biggs, what's up, Bev? Beverly Biggs is running for the 3rd ward seat. She's out there hitting those doors, asking people to vote for her. She is running for the 3rd ward seat to be the 3rd ward council person. I've never seen a race so difficult. The first race, which I've maintained, she had 589. Deacon A.C. Dumas had 548. They did not certify that record. One thing I believe is we have to honor the will of the people. I do believe in that. I think I got everybody. Now, Skeptical JP, I didn't get you. Oh, that's why I didn't show up the Facebook side. Okay. Beverly Barnes, hey girl. A lot of these people they send text to me every day, and I'm surprised that Reed isn't in here. So, anyways, we're gonna get started. And I'm gonna go back down to the bottom. I said, charge it to my mind and not my heart. And so I want people to understand that the things that I say to you, because I do believe in a better Flint, and we can only be better by acknowledging. Hey, Corey, say, how are you? From Pontiac. Hey. If we acknowledge what we've done and to move forward, and that I truly believe in. I'm not perfect, okay? Because if so, I'd be a size 6. Your girl ain't been that way in a long time. But it's okay. Hey, Keith Downey from I'm going to say from Houston, Texas. Hey, Keith. So I do want to say we have a special guest. And so as we look, and there's been a lot of things on Facebook. I do want to say a special prayers for everyone that is in Texas with those flash floods. I have not cut the news on to watch it. My father and my mother have been telling me. And it's the sad death toll has been rising. Say a prayer if you are a praying person. Say a prayer for those who are lost their lives and those who are still missing. Say a prayer because there's a lot going on in our community. Hey, Reed Johnson. So, special guest, this person is a special guest. He is known to social media content creators. Um, I view content creators and social media as another way of getting out the news, another way of communicating to people. I think we become a better society when we interface and learn how to talk with each other. That is my true belief. Um, this person had a post put up about him that he's monetizing. He's taking advantage of the Flint people. Uh, now, mind you, the person who put this up also is doing a dual residency in Baltimore, Maryland. But I'm going to let him tell his story. So let's bring him in. Our special guest today is, come on now, producer Jay. Hey, B. Marie.
Tanya.
Hey, how are you? How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm rested. I feel so much better.
Yeah.
I do. I still got about 50 pairs of shoes in my living room, but that's okay.
How was your time with the kids?
Oh my God, I had a good time.
Yeah.
I like to go like off the beaten path, and my daughter is really like an off the beaten path. And so we did I like this one, I don't even know the name of it, but it's like a part where gentrification is real. Okay.
Yep.
They have like a brewery over there, a taco place, and these different restaurants. And it's by Wayne State University, which is in Detroit. And we ate at some restaurants there, and she wanted to go shop. And she got me a cute little bag. And I'm gonna have to grab that bag and show it later because you want something to pour into you, and your kids plug my kids plug into me and give me fuel that I need. And so I had a great, hey, Xavier, he in here. Hey, RJ Brown. So listen, you and I have a friendship. I'm very open about that. I don't know if we were always on the same side, but our views may change. And I appreciate your content and other content creators because you have a different perspective that other people may see, but you don't really give your opinion. You just put out there what's already out there.
Right.
So,
Look, let me just say thank you for this opportunity. I think this is the only opportunity I had to kind of talk about, the best of Flint City Council, and it's unfortunate why we're here because of the moose, and that's how I'm referring to her. From now on, I told my mother, I says, listen, I'm going to be disrespecting this sister, so if you hear about it, just so you know, because she will be upset, but I'm like, it's all deserved. She deserves every lick she get right now.
how is your mother?
She is good. Thank you for asking. But let me just go back and talk about.
Want me to put the post up? Want me to put the post up first?
Go for it. Yeah, let's see
So,
it.
producer Jay, can you put the post up? Because the post is, I don't even, at some point, I'm like, don't you have something to do like rest?
Aren't y'all on vacation? I thought y'all was on vacation.
Yes. And listen, she is busy giving people the business. And so this is the first time I voted to go on vacation. And I voted to go on vacation this time because one, I saw the violence escalating. The people are fed up. I saw the police when they started extracting people out in handcuffs. That was problematic for me. So for me, it was like, let's give the people a break and everyone make cooler heads prevail. I literally took a break, except for y'all know my phone don't stop ringing 24/7, even on the holiday. So the post that she made, she says, many outside people of Flint are leveraging the city's challenges for financial gain. The individual below, not from or currently living in Flint, probably never visited Flint, has garnered almost 13 million views, essentially profiting from council commotion. We must recognize that chaos can be profitable, thus discouraging more constructive interactions. How has he repaid the struggling city that's contributing to his income? With scholarships, community cleanups, and events? Not to my knowledge. Keep this in mind as you view his videos on YouTube and engage with him on Facebook. He's He's not like us. Hashtag New York resident. So
Yeah,
before I
not
let you
like
get
Liddell.
started, yeah, give me a minute. So one,
Yeah.
when I saw that, extremely disrespectful because she still does things there in Baltimore, Maryland. I have done a dual residency from Chicago to here for years, decades. And so I'm gonna let you have the floor because I thought this was ludicrous. I mean, and I did not see 810 Flint's when I grabbed it off about 10 minutes before, and I did not see where Xavier put more lies from Lydell, also known as Big Dale. But you have the floor.
Thank you again, Tanya. And, I'm not going to, spend too much time on it because it's a whole bunch of, like you said, negativity. It's just, Liddell being Liddell, right?
Hmm.
Because this woman embodies a blend of traits. She's a narcissistic, delusional, and downright diabolical person all at the same time. And I mean, it's just almost astonishing how these qualities intertwine to create this captivating, complex character. But like I was just saying, this month, while the city council is on break, Liddell, who complains about the drama, people adding to drama as city council, is creating drama on vacation. And, as she passionately targets you, me, and others. So it's crippling. But I want to take this time, to explain to people how this all started and why. I was watching the meetings live, just like everyone else, in
How
the
long
beginning,
ago?
back in 2021,
Okay.
2022, and there had been some compilations out there, and I would put in the comment section, can you do some more, whatever, and no one responded. And it wasn't until someone had said you should do one yourself, and I did one, and then I started doing another, and then the third and fourth, and then I noticed. I'll never forget this too. Barbara Moore had shared one of my compilations, and I believe her and Eva got the assumption that I was using it to attack maids, and that was not, the intention. So that's when I switched it up from the best of Councilman Eric Mays to the best of Flint City Council.
Oh,
And because I wanted to, under that umbrella, show the triggers, which was Eva and Kate and all those back in the day, and then the reaction from Mays and others, and I wanted to show both sides and let people rock with that and to kind of see, how, and everybody just went with Mays. They loved him. And before you knew it, 10 videos became 20 and 30. And then, the TikTok was booming and, all other platforms, Facebook was booming. People were coming up. And then you came out with your YouTube platform. I believe 810 came out with theirs. So it really propelled, a lot of social media surrounding the Flint City Council. And I got to tell you, one of the other benefits of this was actually Nick Peterson, one of my subscribers, reached out to me and he said,
mhm.
dude, it's because of your channel, I'm more engaged in my own local city government. And so that right there, it's like kind of like adding fuel, edging me, and kind of getting me to do more. And not just in Flint, but in other municipalities that have, failed government. So,
Mhm.
you know, I know what I'm doing. I've got support supporting me on what I'm doing. So this stuff
No, no,
Liddell's
no, be wrong with us.
this stuff Liddell putting out ain't interfering with Jack. And I mean, me and you both know why she's doing this. I
Yeah.
mean, she's a quintessential hater. She
Hold on
lacks
a second. A
support system.
quintessential hater. I like that.
And I mean it's clearly frustrated by her lack of success in her political career. That's what I think the most. She really hasn't done what she wanted to do, and I think she hasn't received the type of respect that she wanted to receive. So I think all of that, builds up, especially towards you, because at one point you guys, and I don't know, maybe you could talk about that, but y'all were at one point in the beginning, in the when y'all first got elected, back in 2021, because that's when I started watching, right after Monica and them left, and then you started. That's when COVID had just ended, and then you guys were like back and forth, in and out of the meetings. I mean, in and out of the chambers. I remember, some days were remote, and then the other days where you guys were in there. I remember, but yeah, man, like Liddell is just full of it. A few of my subscribers reached out to me today. They told me, they was like, "Yo, she talking about you," and I was like, "Oh, really?" Yeah, and then I went and saw it, and I ain't studying Liddell.
And full disclosure, you and I talk about, I mean, we have a friendship where we talk. I mean, there may be some other content creators that don't like it, and I don't know why. That's not my issue. I will say that even doing this show, I get calls from everywhere, literally everywhere. And I remember one of the letters, it was from an attorney in Los Angeles, California. And her letter, I got two actually, two Black women who were very prominent attorneys from California sent letters about Liddell and her actions. And I was surprised. But, and it's not when you say you met us or you saw us before, I had hope for Liddell. I don't, I don't go to bed thinking about Liddell, but clearly Liddell goes to bed and wakes up thinking about what I'm doing. I literally don't. And the fact that I was like, okay, well, let me get the 50 pairs of shoes out in my living room, because I usually change at least two times a day, because I'm busy, and I make sure I wear the appropriate clothing for where I'm going. When she decided to tell the lie about Councilman Mays, that he called her MF and B, and he did not. And I asked her, she said, well, he called me MF and B. I said, well, who heard it? And she said, but Judy. I said, well, where were you at? Well, I was talking to the journalist in the camera, and they heard it too. So I went and asked them. I said, well, did you hear her, Councilman Mays call them that? And she said both. It was two of them. I think, was it 12 and 25? They said, no, we didn't hear that. We don't know what she's talking about. And so then I asked Judy. She was like, no, nothing like that was said, because Judy actually had given Councilman Mays, voted for him to be president. He also helped Judy on her campaign. And a lot of people don't know that. And so for me, at that point, I told her, and I don't know which one it may be in, and I stated to her, you did not tell the truth. You didn't tell the truth because, one, you would have said something. You're not the type of woman that's going to become mute or silent on it. You never said anything. But when you put this on a person and you tell lies, somebody's going to believe it. At that point, I was done. I didn't respect her. I was done, because Councilman Mays didn't need no help with people being upset with him. He was good at that for himself.
Yeah.
He gonna tell you how you feel, how he felt.
Yeah.
And
like you said, Mays stayed on 10. Yep.
Right. His voice was loud, and he knew it, and he knew how to use his voice to get his points across. And so for me, for a person to make up lies, that was my point where I was done. Now, after that point, because what she does when she lies to bring people in, she's a gaslighter professionally.
Exactly.
And she tells these lies to swoop and bring people in. And when she does this, some people believe it. Now, I'm not for everybody and everybody not for me, and I'm okay with that. But what you won't do is disrespect me in my face, depending on which timing you might get, because I don't do the mess. And so when I saw yours, I'm like, okay. She got you. She just went to town on Councilman Jarrett. I'm like, it was, and I haven't even talked about it, and I'm like, you don't know what somebody's going through, and she needs to be careful when she's attacking Councilman Jarrett. But back to being a content creator, I don't care if you was from Alaska, okay? It does not matter, because social media has been able to bridge the gaps for people with communication. And if you don't want people to highlight or to show what you're doing, stop acting a fool. You can't get right. You can't get mad when people highlight the environment that you created. This is the hate she's getting from people. It's the hate she gave this community.
Yeah.
And she doesn't like it. It doesn't taste well in her mouth. So she needs to change that. But I don't think she can change because everybody on vacation, but she's going over to Councilman Jerry, you, and everybody.
Let me just say this, and I said this before. I think it was when me and Sheena had did an interview right before the show, and I said I'm hoping that this behavior continues until August when we get the fifth vote and we can get a 30, maybe a 90-day suspension. And I mean, this is a good idea, and I'm hoping somebody would consider this idea. If this passes and she's suspended for 30 to 90 days, now I don't know if we legally can do this, but we could look at maybe sending her up to the farm somewhere where there's no foot traffic, no vehicular traffic. There's specialists, doctors up there in the farms that can help her because this behavior is a cry for help. In my opinion. And she'll spend her time up there, and then when she's done with that, getting the help that she needs, we'll bring her back down the flank, and then I'm sure the council will welcome her with open arms. But Liddell needs help. The woman is suffering because it's really going to hurt her when, I'm being sarcastic, but it's really going to hurt her when she's knocked off leadership. It's going to hit her when she don't have that fifth vote. She ain't going to be president no more. She ain't going to have the ability to be throwing people out. All of that's going to be out the window. And that's when it's really going to hit her. And it's going to be interesting to see how it displays, how it looks.
I think it will be interesting also because when you
Send
abuse
that girl away somewhere, man, I'm telling you, I ain't studying.
when you abuse position and power and you use what your position is not for the goodness of the people, but you use it in a way to where you're harming the people, defaming the people. She was consistently condescending. She was critical. She was judgmental. I mean, she took pleasure in watching people be handcuffed.
Exactly.
She took great pleasure. And that is the weirdest thing. It's kind of like a pyromaniac setting a house on fire, then standing and watching it burn and giving them the pleasure because that was the fire, the inferno that she has started. She literally loved it. And you see her face just gleaming. That is disturbing to me. And when people say, well, Tanya, sometimes you just don't, no, don't ever tell me to be quiet. I don't like bullies. I don't like people talking to me crazy. And let me tell you, you can hold only so much in.
Yeah.
And some of my colleagues have suffered it's stressful. I'm not taking that mess home with me.
Let me ask you a question. What is it? What goes on up there that we don't see on camera that you can tell us?
God. Listen, I leave my microphone on purpose. Okay. Yeah. I've said it because you hear them talking crazy.
No.
So, you do.
I remember when you went with Chief Green, you got a riot in here.
Now that one was not on purpose, but it was all but he did. I had no, and he did have one. That was a whole mess when they came here to that BITCH Tanya Burns that Liddell sent them to get me. October the 14th. Ain't nobody still been arrested. And they went home and videotaped themselves doing that. Real smart. And so I leave it on because Candace talks the whole time. She talks to herself. When someone else is cheering, she's cheering it too, but with her microphone off. She is. And so, JW seems like, I don't know how you deal with that. I have learned to just tune it out because normally I'm reading if my head is down. Never, even though, yes, this is the Tanya Burns show, I never comment on the show. I'm not doing anything but my counsel job at the time, which she loves to mention. Her show is monetized. Okay, well, I'm sorry. Tanya Burns does not take one dime. I do this so people can get good information. And I want to grow content so other content creators, so that we know what's going on. It's the same thing with Tiffany Henya with Portsmouth, Virginia. We've gotten there's Tarrant, Mississippi. There's one in Texas. So we can know how good government should work and that when we face these problems. I had a guy, really what made me come on, his name was Gus. Gus is with M-Line. Gus called, but he had all these preconceived notions. First time and I've dealt with the press several over years, decades actually. And so his conversation with me was kind of disturbing because he had wrapped up in his mind. He works for M Live, and I want to see when this article comes out because Liddell had told him the problem is the outsiders. And when I saw this come up, I'm like, she's laying that foundation because she doesn't take responsibility. Now, my children have been doxxed. My daughter called a monkey. Their phone numbers,
On
my
that
house
effect.
been put up. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm like, they did everything to me they could to make me quit. Okay. I'm like, you didn't make me, so you can't break me. Okay. And so
That's what's
when
up.
when Gus called, he says, um, it's the outsiders. I've come to a couple of or watched a couple of the council, a few of them, and I've never seen people act this way. And they can't just come up there and talk to them like that. And I think it's disrespectful. And what about the rules? So his whole dialogue, I'm like, you saying what Liddell's saying. And he's going through this. I said, well, let me tell you something, Gus. What I'm not going, and these are my words. And I had somebody else near me, so they heard my words.
Yeah.
I said, what you won't do is come take a snapshot of the city of Flint and with the residents. Do you understand what Flint residents have been through?
Yes.
I
I
said,
always consider that. Always.
absolutely. I said,
Oh,
do you understand the plight of the Flint person? But yeah, no other place acts like Flint. I said, well, I take offense to that. Let me be very clear. I said, because Flint is a passionate people. I said, and people who speak up, if they didn't speak up, they would still be telling us nothing's wrong with your water. I said, so I don't care about that part, what you're trying to tell me. I said, well, what I'm going to do is tell you about what you feel the outsiders are. I said, my whole team, I said that I work with are what do you consider outsider people that don't live in Flint? I said, because that's what technology does. I said, we're no longer getting our information with smoke signals. We're no longer getting our information on AM radio because then it was FM radio after that. And then guess what? It's the World Wide Web. And we also had cable. I said, so we are able to connect, to communicate, then you need to understand that those are tools for us to do. We should be harnessing that, not regressing, but progressing, Gus. Well, no place. I said, that's not true. Portsmouth, Virginia. I said, I said, it was a case one in Port Huron, Michigan, where they were, you have a right to freedom of speech. Portsmouth, Virginia, where she said, I'm tired as an MFer up here. She's an educated woman. She did. Why? Because they were stealing money. They were voting on their own resolutions, giving themselves money.
mm.
They were doing that. And so when she spoke out, Tarrant, Mississippi, you got a guy calling people the N-word. There's one in Alabama. And so,
Yeah.
right.
I
And
remember
so
that.
when he's trying to tell me as if I am oblivious to what's happening in the world, you don't get to do that, Gus. You don't get to do that with me. And but let me tell you about the outsiders. He's like, well, their pages are monetized. I said, who cares? I said, I appreciate them because they create a video library. Because when I need certain things to look for, I'll call you. I'll call Xavier. I'll go look, depending on how far back, I'll go look on Paul's. Why does she have this energy for Paul? Because Paul agrees with her.
Right.
And so when they say outsiders, I don't believe in that. And, I think it makes us a better people. I've got calls from Pennsylvania, California. I've got them from, I can't even tell you how many states, honestly, where people call or send me emails because they watch and they decided, like you said, to get involved in their local government.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
People been watching Flint, since the water crisis. So,
yeah,
it's been widely known, it was, a really big national story about a black community being poisoned by their own government.
mhm,
And so that's how I started to get involved, watching the Nightline video and then, the meetings and stuff. So
yeah,
it's just unfortunate, that you have an individual like Liddell that just, you know, boost about, and that's another thing too. She boosts about not being recalled, and that's what really annoys me because I think we all know that there's some fill in the blanks as to,
oh, yeah,
as to why
absolutely.
those
So they,
those calls fail.
Well, the
So
last one, they did a law that went back to literally 1914 that had never been used. I
yeah,
promise you. And in that 1914 law, it stated that if a person signs and they sign twice, because I guess other petitioners had signed the same time, that you have to throw out the signature altogether. What we have been practicing in the precedents in the state of Michigan and in the city of Flint and in Genesee County was that you take the first, you couldn't take them both, but you take the one with the first date. That is
mhm.
what had been happening as far as the law, not taking them both out. So literally that law was back to 1914. But make no bones about it, Liddell is in the place to do a job. The same thing that Mayor Neely is. He's there to make the water crisis go away, as he gave his celebratory moment. Oh, we got the EPA said we're in good condition. Yeah, well, that was a piss poor response to someone who was a councilman, a state rep, and now mayor. And you had the nerve, he had the nerve to go on and say, this is a celebration, it's a celebratory month. No, it's not. It's
No.
not a celebration because you know what? Underneath his leadership, we're still at 90%, which is what we were at 90% when he took office. So he should not be giving himself a hallelujah, but it should be a hell no. We should have 100% complete. And we do not have 100% complete. We do not have restorations done. All the service lines aren't done, and they're still working on them. They're
I
still
wanted to ask you about that because it was on local news here in New York that the ACO is gone and that things are better now, and I'm like, that's not the truth. I don't think that's true.
no. So during a council meeting, probably 4 weeks ago, I got my residents don't know when we're in council because we have an exorbitant amount of meetings. And
Yeah,
so I got a call and I was getting text stating, this is the color of our water. What do we do? The water was several different colors. It was like a light yellow to a light brown to like a cloudy color with like a brown. And so the water mains, we're supposed to be doing $6 million per year worth of water main changes. That hasn't been done underneath Mayor Neely. So when I talked about that administrative consent order and the water distribution optimization plan, those are things which we're responsible to do. When September 23rd, 2024, they voted to approve the administrative consent order. When they did that, they took the responsibility off of the state and they gave it back to the people. Then they had the audacity to say, hey, approve this $28.5 million project that we don't have the money for while we're in budget time, where we were taking in 64 million. The mayor had a $68.9 million budget, and we voted to approve a 60.9 million budget. Now he tried to slip that 68 in there, but I was
yeah, I remember that.
yeah, every
Yeah.
day. Did you get the budget for the mayor? Did you take it to him? Because we have to hold him accountable. Now, however, he may slip and slide around that, there's people on that and watching, as they should, because you
Has the
can't.
budget been signed? Has it been officially signed? Did he sign it or vetoed it or what?
I got today. I got busy, so I'm gonna check tomorrow. So I have to check tomorrow. Today got kind of, and
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
yeah. And so when we forget who we're working for, which is the people. My tribe is the people. Okay. My tribe is the people who
That's
show
right.
up, the people who saying this is not right. My tribe is the people who went to Lansing and shut it down. Okay. And I was there with my children. Why? Because if you get a people who say the government is okay, that you don't protest. It's like saying the big, beautiful bill, those people who thought they were smart. Oh, forget Medicaid, but didn't understand Medicaid for their shut it off. And then when they figured it had a whole nother name for programs, you won't have Medicaid. Yeah, well, you need to start reading and understanding because people are in it for their own personal interest. But anything else you want to say?
Nah, I just want to say, listen, everybody ignore Liddell. She's a hater. She trolls Tanya. Now she's trolling me. She wants to be like Tanya, in my opinion. She wants to have Tanya's success, in my opinion. She wants to be likable in her own community, in my opinion. So that's all I really got to say. Other than that, I want to shout out to a few people.
I saw Vince on there, which was
Yeah,
obvious.
I want
Hey,
to shout
man.
out to a few people. I want to give some verbal shout outs to my girl Avis Hopkins. She's
Hey, Vince.
been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Tom Penderoni, good dude. I haven't talked to him on the phone in a while. Tasha Lynn, definitely want to give her a shout out.
Dr. Padroni can really talk, though. I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
yeah. Angela Lynette,
I
Steph
see that.
Love, just good. B Marie, definitely good people has just been around and really been giving good support. Berta Boy. So I just wanted to shout out those people because they've been around for a while.
Hey,
They've
and
been
to
loyal.
each,
They've been
and,
focused in and involved. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, you got the flow.
I'm not the one interviewing you. I forget you're interviewing me.
You got the flow.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Yo, how's Art Wilson doing? That's my boy, man. That's my
I
dude.
haven't talked to him today. We have got like a
Yeah.
love-hate relationship. He's
Oh,
like the brother that I had, but we may have had
no, y'all
different
better make
mothers.
that up. Clean
We
that shit
good.
up.
We good
Hang
though.
it up.
We
Hang it
good.
up. Hang all
Yeah,
of that up, please.
we are good. He will probably be at Pastor
Good dude,
Thompson's
man.
church tomorrow talking about the food giveaway because hold on. I have not watched all of his stuff and I have tried to. I have
Yeah.
a lot of catching up to do. He has got, Why Everybody Hates Chris part 5 or 6.
He's having a ball. He is having a ball with that.
He is having a great time. He
Several people reached out. He was like, "Yo, you see your boy Art?" And I was like, "Yeah, this is crazy with this Chris Martin stuff." So
it
it's
is crazy.
yeah, it is wild, man. And
You
did
know,
you see the video of him, Chris Martin? He had to get on there and acknowledge everything and apologize and repent. Did you see that?
okay, but how? No, because I ain't talked about it. I'm gonna do a whole show about that.
Okay. All right. You know what? Yeah. All right.
But let me say this:
Go ahead.
how can you apologize to people and all the people you need to apologize to, you're blocked? I mean, he blocked them. Look,
Wow.
Christopher Martin, Bishop Christopher Martin, because right now they're still letting him be a bishop or pastor. I need that apology to roll on my way too, because you put lies up about me too. You put lies and said I brought
Would you
all this.
invite him to your show? Would you invite him on?
No, absolutely not. No, I would never go to his church either. And I'm gonna be full disclosure. I never cared for Christopher Martin. I mean, sometimes you get a spirit of discernment, and even then with Mayor Neal, I never liked him. You
Mm.
could see it on him. I could see it on him. And Woodson will tell you, ask him. What he will tell, I never did. And I hadn't had, it's something that was about him that I could not knew. I trust my intuition. I trusted. I never liked him. And so it wasn't a surprise to me to see all this crazy stuff. Disappointing that you put your whole family and you were supposed to be Christians in this group chat that you're slamming people and dragging them. I have a family group chat and with my kids and their father, and it's nothing like that. It's like we pan on each other, you know, and it's not like that. I can't imagine being a pastor and teaching hate. To see him call people whores, to call people the
Yeah.
F word, and dealing with people's sexuality. People who are insecure with their sexuality talk about other people and their sexuality. That is a fact. And my things I've always said: stay out of people's bedrooms. Stay, because it ain't your business. And whatever people like to do when they're consenting grown adults, let they freak level be they freak level. Stay out their bedroom. You know, that's just how I feel. Why you laugh? I mean, it's the truth. Listen, I taught sex education in middle school. So I have always talked openly about sex to my children. Now, I don't have any grandkids because I overly taught sex education, obviously, you
I didn't
know.
know that. I did not know
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
You never told me that.
yeah,
Wow. You should do
yeah.
a show on like sexology. You should do
Yeah,
it.
the sexual. I think that the black body is to be celebrated, and black love is real, because when we would watch TV, the human black body was always something bad, and it's
Yeah.
not. And I want people to love themselves and their body and their black skin, and that's how I raise my children and my
I
nieces
like
and
that.
nephews, and letting them understand that because of the color of your skin, no matter which part of the spectrum of melanation that you're on, that
Mhm.
you have a beautiful body. I have artwork that was hanging up. It's now in the box though, y'all, because your girl in a semi-transition. Like, look, I live in the college house. That I had sketches with the human black body on them with the men and women because it's artwork. I love art. And
Nice.
so that was one of the gifts that my uncle, who lives in New York, my one of my first museums, I went to Guggenheim, you know, and so to appreciate artwork and that the body is a beautiful piece of art and that we are not all meant to look the same. Now, look, I would take a flatter stomach, but look, I'm in my 50s, menopause, got a hole on me, but I think that we have to talk about who we are and love ourselves internally first, and other than externally, because that's just the outer surface. I would not want to be a ugly person inside and outside. And
Right.
whatever size I am, I love me some me. Okay. I
I
don't
know that's
dye,
right.
I love me some me. I don't dye my hair. I will wear some hair but then my hair, I don't like wearing my hair. I'm like, I'll be all day flat ironing my hair and curling.
I like when you had your hair down, like in the beginning of the council when you started. How come you don't
Yeah.
wear it down no more? Or when you had like the bun up in the beginning, I like that style. That was one of my
Yeah.
two favorite styles.
Yeah.
Actually.
Well, look, I'm getting ready to get me some. I never had like I'm just like crochet braids because I'm always on the go. So when literally, I have to have. I keep two suit blazers in my car. I'm always running someplace and doing something. And for me, I need it easy. And if a man loved me for my hair and he bald, no.
Yeah, I love it when
I ain't ask you to grow no hair and don't tell me how to wear mine. So that's my theory. But I believe that we have to celebrate who we are, our skin tone and our
absolutely.
body. So my kids grew up seeing artwork as and also sculptures. Sculptures, we have the Greek goddess and the Greek sculptures, they're nudes. So it's you're not to be insecure with it. But I don't believe everybody don't be out there showing all your little goodies and your little cookie. Cover some of that up. We don't need to see all of that.
It's funny you mentioned sculptures because I grew up, with my parents. They've been, especially my dad, he's been to Africa and back dozens of times. And he would come
Mhm.
back and there would be sculptures of women with their breasts out and with the nipples. And I was a kid then, but I was exposed to that in my house. And then some of the wall paintings with the lips and stuff. And,
Yep.
so
Yeah.
that Art Deco was all in my house growing up. And so it's funny you
Absolutely.
mentioned that. Yeah.
My aunt who lives in El Corango,
Yeah.
California, is a statue of probably like about 3 feet, which was carved when she went to Africa. And I'm gonna tell you, I used to be scared of that little sculpture. That it's a wood, it's out of wood.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Yeah.
and she gave it to me. I'm like, don't take this in my house because a little girl,
Yeah.
I was scared.
Yeah.
And I knew she watched the person carve while she was over there. But to take our heritage and who we're from. So I have that. I have beautiful wooden sculptures. I have, I love artwork. And when you talk about having the breasts are out in that.
Yeah.
And that comes from I think we have to look at the human body as being beautiful. And I nursed all three of my kids. I did. I tell people that, and I help my nieces when they had babies. They were like, "Oh, I ain't telling you, I don't want to." Girl, no, we get ready to do this thing because your breast in the mother's milk is best for the baby. It's made for the baby to digest. They're healthier. Their brains develop quicker and better. Their eyes do too. It gives your immune system is given to the baby.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we got on this, but that is the other part to me. I don't know. I have all kinds of scope leather mask from Africa. I love artwork. So, but anyways, back to Christopher Martin because that's what we was on.
Yeah.
I would never have him on my show. I never cared for him. For a man and a pastor who voluntarily lies says a lot. He's part of that summer program where he's faith foundation, whatever it is. He has no business mentoring. He has no business having any child care at his church. He should not. That man is a menace to society and he's damaging to the reputation of the clergy in the city of Flint.
Mm.
And for me, that is a problem. I will not support that, the things that he said. And then people are like, oh my goodness, the young lady, she cussed so much. Well, you know what? I think she was there 14 years. She has a right to say how she feels. What's the difference with him condemning her, his wife, the daughter, who is the son, everybody in there, and they kept putting it out. You don't get to choose how people react to
Exactly.
what you said. You don't get to choose that.
Yeah.
But you a pastor? I can't. And I come from my Reverend Uncle Ollie Pounds, South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, as a little girl. He taught me so much as a little girl by being in the pulpit with him, and he let me. He was like, "Where you want to sit?" I said, "Up there with you." And the deacons were like, "Well, baby girl, you can't sit there." He says, "No, her place is wherever she wants to be in life." I was like, "Look," I was like, "That's right." Tell him I wanted to say, but I was, brought up to your place, but in my mind, like,
Right.
let him know.
Yeah.
Go on over there, deacon, in your little dusty black suit. No, forgive me, Lord. But I think that when we talk about what he did to this community and what he did to the clergy, our clergy has not been present as it should have been. Our clergy is not present to help heal this community. Mayor Neely has pushed Christopher Martin out into this community to lead. So what do you get when one liar with another liar? Then we have been lied to in our city. We know that Mayor Neely does not tell the truth. We know that
Right.
Christopher Martin does not tell the truth. I was doing boots on the ground. Don't let me learn how to do boots on the ground. Y'all gonna be like, we tired of her filming herself doing boots on the ground. I got the 1, 2, 3, and I got the crossover. That's all I got.
Let me ask y'all: y'all live there? I've always wondered this though too, and I hate to ask you this question, but I'm just so curious, Tanya. When I speak to you, I always
Mhm.
ask questions. But do y'all see each other outside of council?
Who? You talking about
Or
Judy?
like Liddell, Neely, council members? Do you guys see each other outside of council? I'm
So
just curious. I
me and
just want to
JW,
know.
yeah,
Curious.
me and JWC see each other all the time. JWC and myself
Yeah.
have the same godmother. She was named after our godmother. So,
Oh wow.
um, yeah, yeah. And so me and her, yeah, that's like she's like a sister, you know. Um, do we see I'm not at the same places that Leon is at.
Yeah.
Liddell used to be at my family functions, but when she decided to put up using her fake Linda Pendleton page that she
Yeah.
was using the copycat page, when she decided to put up my aunt and my uncles and my cousins and they came down there, yeah, she ain't been at no more family functions. They don't deal with her no more. Only one of them do, and I don't know what's wrong with her that she's speaking to her. But her sister be making jokes. So she used to be at my family functions, when she said she didn't, then admittedly had to say, "Oh my girl, you was there."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you was there. So, who else do I see? Dennis and I have a good friendship, but I mean, I don't. Dennis travels a lot, and we do communicate. Jonathan, spoke with him today, but we see each other like really, and everyone has like a full life, honestly.
Really.
They do. So, Candace, I don't know. I mean, unless it's a function. I mean, I don't really
A city
travel with.
function. Yeah. 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 I
Yeah,
feel you.
unless it's a function or
Yeah.
something. Then no, and then I'm not gonna go to a city function or in any other function, and I have etiquette, and so I go do what I need to do and do what I have to do,
I know
and then
you do.
go home. Yeah,
Yeah. I know
and
you
then
do.
go home and don't put it in the group chat. But listen,
What
let's
do you
just
want
put
to
that
ask me?
out.
Come on, ask me some questions before I leave. You want to ask me?
I do. So, are you a journalist? I heard you
I
want to be
am. I am. I am.
a real live Jersey.
Yeah. I am. I've got a local publication here in my hometown. So that's why, as you could see in some of the videos and posts, it's got that journalistic attitude flavor to it.
Mhm.
So I am. It's called Mount Vernon News Center. I'm originally from Mount Vernon, New York. I live in New Rochelle now, but it's called Mount Vernon News NEWS Center, and so that's where that's my platform and website. So yeah, and then I got my full time job. I work from home. So it's a lot. I got a lot going on. But audio, visual, social media, I love it. This AI stuff is awesome. Yeah,
I know everyone who talks about AI say that they love it.
I
So,
love
what is your goal with doing and covering Flint City Council? What is your goal, or do you
My
know?
goal, honestly, was to get to where we are now, to get the attention on it. It's not just, the water crisis. We also have a failed government that's being orchestrated by a few bad actors, Liddell, Neely, etc. And I think we've accomplished that. And so now, my goal is to help you in art, because you guys are like the pillars in the community. You have a fantastic outlet and you break down the information. And I really want to get a lot of residents, especially residents, to watch your channel. So whatever I can do to help you grow, that's what I really want to focus on now. Because Councilman Mays is no longer with us, unfortunately, and so the amount of attention has kind of dwindled a little bit. But I think it's time the residents, especially the residents, they need to really step up and get more involved. They need to watch your show more. They need to get involved in the comments and stuff. That's what I really want to see. So whatever I can do to help with that, you got me. You know how to get in contact, because we got to step up. We got to step up.
I agree. So what was one of your most surprising moments at City Council? That's probably going to be a hard one. You may be able to get two. But what was one of your most surprising?
My most surprising City Council moments? Oh, that is a hard one. I mean, I've watched over 100 plus meetings.
Was it Mays bamming on that table?
The table, that. The damn you. But I got to tell you, what really became was the Art Woodson, and I got to thank Art a lot for opening up his page to me. And we were able to get to see that battle between Maurice and Mays. He cursed him out for like 10 minutes straight. And so Paul's side didn't have the audio, just a visual of them running around, going back and forth. You could see Mays cursing him out. But Woodson, because I was going through all of his, live videos, and then I came across some of the council meetings, and he had it. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to share this. And that was good to see. That was one of my favorites recently. But it's a lot. I miss Mays. His vocabulary, the way he, got through certain motions, those point of orders. It was, I kind of miss him. I still do. I still watch those. I go back and watch those old videos a lot.
So people think you didn't like Mays. Expand on that, because you'll get people say, "Oh, well, he flipped on Mays," and this is not rehearsed. Right.
Yeah, that's a good. I'm glad you brought that up. That's a good question, because in the beginning, I didn't know him. I didn't know why Mays was Mays, and I don't think a lot of people did. They didn't understand why he would get up and walk around. They didn't understand why he would react the way he react. So doing those videos kind of helped me understand him more, and watching and catching up on those videos helped me understood why he would react the way he react, because he was being triggered, and then as I understood Flint's government and the rules and how things worked, then I kind of put the pieces together like millions of others around this world and realized, and as we all realize now, Mays wasn't the problem. And so that grew. So, and it was a fast grew. I would say, within months, I realized this dude is the truth, but, like I said in the beginning, when I first did the videos, I was doing it Best of Flint City Council, Eric Mays. And so people thought maybe I was targeting him. I didn't like him. And I said, no, that's not the case. I like this dude. He's got a strong voice. And I'm learning him and understanding him. And so I flipped it around to the Best of City Council. And I wanted to show both sides, the triggers and the reactions. And
well, you've been doing some digging, Ball.
What's that?
You've been doing some digging and putting up old videos.
Yeah. I think I did one of you recently when you were going back at it with Winfrey, right? You were running for council, I think, right? How is Mr. Winfrey, too?
He's doing fine. He's doing good. And Herb and I have a good relationship. Herb's wife worked.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear.
And his wife had worked with my husband, and she was a police officer. And so it's always open dialogue, and I want better. I called Chief Green today. He didn't take my call, y'all. I think he might have me blind. block me if I was him.
Yeah.
I would not. So, what is your relationship with Paul? Because people talk about and they think you do this work for Paul, that Paul puts you up to it. And I don't get in people business like that, but can you tell us and expound on
I'll
that?
expand on it briefly. I mean, him and I had several conversations. I interviewed Paul.
Oh, did
And
you?
yeah, I interviewed Paul. He was one of the first of Flint that I interviewed.
Wow,
And that
I
was
didn't
my
know that.
goal. I wanted to, because he puts all these video, he had all these meetings and all of these digitalized meetings. And I wanted the people to see the man behind the camera. But to expand on that, Paul and I never met. We've spoken on the phone several of times. I reached out to him and we built not a friendship, but like a communication bond, and I helped his channel grow. And, that was the goal, was to get people to watch the meetings, and they were, Paul was netting 300, 400, 500 live, regular, and cause he was the only one, there was no Flint channel. There was no Tanya Burns. Whitson was doing it, but it wasn't as big. But then when I started sharing some of Whitson's videos, people were watching him. And then you came out, and then people started going to your channel. And then Flint City Channel came out with theirs. So he kind of lost it. And I kind of feel bad in a way, but then I don't. Because everyone in Flint tells me Paul's an asshole. That's what they all tell me. Stop being nice to him. Stop, and I'm like, I don't know the guy. You may not like him because you may have something, but I never met the guy. But
Right.
Paul
You
said
don't have a day-to-day interaction.
he said one thing to me, and Daniel Bird, a good dude, man. I hope he gives me a call, man, if he's watching this, because he was on the phone. But the first thing Paul's mouth, he was on the phone, this was the first thing I remember him telling me. He was like, AK, you know what? I was like, what's that, Paul? He's like, I just love white people. And I don't know what made him say that, why he did that, but it was just weird. And I was like, okay, this is going to be a little rocky, but I helped him, I mean, I seeded his account, his YouTube, super chatted him and given him cash apps. And, I thanked him immensely. I still do.
But
So, I don't know why he is the way he is. Maybe it's Liddell putting him up to it. I don't know. That's what I think.
Well, whatever. I mean, I think you choose a side, and Paul, with what his position was, should have stayed neutral, but
Yeah.
he chose not to. And I think that everybody has to live his truth, and whatever his truth is, it's his. When he had the unfortunate thing with Billy Dantzler, I mean, you can't
Yeah.
just talk about women and call them B's and MFers. It's not going to go very well, you know, because black women will tell our kids, look, you got a black mama. And that means I'm about to snatch you up in a minute. You have to, you know. And that thing with Paul was just
Yeah, I caught a lot of flack because I had I highlighted that thing I put the video up of when Billy D had, slapped him in the lobby and stuff. Because out of respect, I mean, personally, everyone may have their different opinions. I just think she was wrong. I'm sure a lot of people in Flint, especially Eric Mays, may have wanted to go upside Paul Herring's head a few times. But, sometimes people, they, let their emotions get the best of them and they make mistakes. That's how I look at it.
And I think it's a hard thing. So, and I'm gonna give, because you didn't have the full thing. You're obviously given a clip. So she called me, and y'all, we didn't script any of this. I just want everybody to know this. So she called me literally when the then ombudsman that they removed that night fired her was in the elevator. Paul cussed her out, and then walked up to her. You can't do that. You got to stay out. That was it started upstairs and then it came down. And when at that point, she was upset. I got a right to defend myself. And Paul has done this before. We know what he did to Elizabeth Taylor when he put his left hand on Elizabeth Taylor. He doesn't mind putting his hands on women. And so when she's telling me, and at the time, the ombudsman I can hear her Shaqsta is upset, and she's like, "No, Tanya." If she calmed down, Paul had cussed him out, called him kind of MFers and Bs. You can't do that. And we know he called a woman a black. Well, he called Liz Taylor a dumb bitch. An
Oh, that really,
18-year-old
I like
woman,
Liz
a
Taylor. I
dumb
like
bitch.
Liz Taylor.
Right, right. And so
Looking
it's
woman.
only so much because these group of women, which are close, that they're going to accept you disrespecting them. So,
So it was
putting up.
building up, but when they got downstairs, it was like she was heated because after all
Oh,
of
she
what,
was.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it had been over time because she had asked me up in the meeting, Paul, please don't record her crying. Paul, she's very upset. Please don't put the camera on her. And he told her to do what he want to do. And when you can't you can't respect that a person who's losing their job, their career, losing her livelihood, that she's going to be losing her job, 90,000 or 89,000, whatever, and it's being taken, emotions are going to run high. And so you weren't obviously privy to that because you got just the nice clip. So Billy was upset, and then he cussed Billy out because we know he does that. Like he calls Elizabeth Taylor a dumb bitch. Now, on the other hand, Paul he gonna better ran up on somebody whose sons or husband is
that's what's
not going to
happening.
accept that. They're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
not. And in this case, he ran up on, started mess upstairs, which he didn't say that. But Billy did get charged. Billy did have to pay restitution.
And see, and that's what I
He
would,
did.
I would hope that over some bullshit with Paul, she got to
Yeah.
go through all of this, and that's what
Mhm.
I was upset with about that. But you know, going further, if anybody go upsides Paul Head, they listen. I'll help with bail money, definitely.
I listen. Look, we
Well,
know bail money around here is real.
because Paul,
So,
no, I didn't steal no footage. He knows what's up. He knows what's up.
well, we know Paul doesn't tell the truth. So I do want to say that because I don't agree with nobody putting their hands on nobody. And that's the same thing that I told her. But
Yeah,
also, I don't agree with no man cussing you out in your face, and calling you out
yeah,
your name.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
black man to black woman, that when you call a black woman a bitch, those are fighting words and you're yelling and screaming. Your breath is coming out across hers and
yeah.
spit coming out your mouth. Spit is an
You can't
assault.
let that shit fly. No.
Yeah, yeah. So and you didn't have the part. So we're gonna end that part. So the other part
Love you, Billy.
goes. So the other part, what would you like to see if it was one thing that you there go Kawana Mac now,
You
Lord.
know, Kawana's on here. That's my girl, Kawana. Yeah,
She up with
poppycock.
Ed Taylor. Ed
Where's
Taylor
she
didn't
at?
jump up out that seat. Clyde was pushing him back down because he was coming to get Kawana. I ain't never seen so many men who wanted to jump on women. Clyde was
That's
literally
my
on
girl. I
Ed's
like
back.
Kawana. She
Yeah.
got a lot of courage. I like
She
Kawana.
does, and she keeps showing up.
Yeah.
So if you could see one thing about Flint City Council and the residents, what would what would you want to see for Flint? What ultimately do you want to see for Flint?
I want to see Flint really get back to stabilization. I want a stable government. I really want to see the council get back into the old council ways where you guys debated issues. A lot of Eric May's anger came out of because, he was battling Kate Fields trying to get that fifth vote. And I like those type of battles. They debated over, a lot of
Ideas.
motions and the council was more mature. And that's what I want to see. And I
Mhm.
don't see it, honestly, with Liddell and Candace in place.
So
Those,
here's
those
what I
that's
see.
that. All right, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. So that's what I want to see. Really, I'm really looking for that third and seventh ward election. It would be good to see Monica Galloway come back. But I'm gonna be honest. I really want to see this city get back as far as its government on the right track. Once that happens and we stabilize the government, then we'll see, better the water crisis, we'll start to, focusing on that, and then that'll improve. And then other things will improve because now we're not battling, you guys are not battling each other on council. And I think that's what because it's time now. You know what I mean? Eric is not there. He made it entertainable. He
Mhm.
put entertainment in there, but now it's like, it's sad, like after he passed, it was rough. I wasn't even watching the meetings at one point after he passed because Candace was going buck wild with JWC saying F you and all of that. and the rules weren't being enforced. It was like, I was like, oh man, what is going on? And I wish Eric was here, Councilman Mays was here, but now it's like we I, we can't stop. We got to put the momentum out there in the community of Flint, and to vote right in the third ward and the seventh ward.
Well, I appreciate and I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree, and I appreciate you sharing your time, answering questions. This was not staged, talked about because
No,
y'all.
it was not. Those are some
No,
good questions. I didn't think he was going to ask some questions.
look, I wrote down none of that, but my mind is, it's always going. And those are the things that I know people talk about when they talk about you. And I'm very upfront with, I have a friendship with you. And I want to be very clear with it. It's just a friendship because I literally got a call and said people thought that I was seeing Jedediah before. I'm like, yeah,
Are
look,
you
I'm not a cougar.
serious?
Yeah, I'm not a cougar, a bobcat, or an old mountain lion. I don't do that. He has always been a respect, but that's just mess people do. I'm like, mm-mm. You have always been respectful. We ask about each other's mom. I
Yeah.
appreciate you being a content creator. And if you don't want people to show that put the content, they shouldn't put it up. First of all, Liddell does TikTok. Remember, she was what do you call it, catfishing, or what do you call it?
Yeah, she had that party. I think that was her page. Or
Oh,
she
it was
knew
her
someone
page.
connected to
And
that
she
page.
she fessed up to it before.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
think it's on TikTok. I think it's
That
done.
pissed me off, man. That
Yep.
TikTok thing with that Eric Mays and stuff.
Yep.
Like, how low can you go?
Well, some people like to crawl on their belly, and the ground being a pond scum sucking person, parasite is what some people are.
Liddell
Pond,
and her big ass belly. I can see that definitely.
I'm then throwing the wine bottles. Whoever did that, which I think it was her.
Yeah,
It is not just distasteful; it's nasty, mean, diabolical, and may they rot in hell.
yeah.
So, with that. I'm gonna finish the rest of the show. And so I want to tell you thank you. And
Thank you.
yeah, because I wanted to address that when she put you up there, and she creates content, and it's not even content because it's
Yeah,
actually what's happening. She makes and lives a fake life with stuff,
for real.
like she makes
Word,
fake posts and send fake
word.
posts
Yeah.
to the pastor. So I appreciate you coming on, AK.
You know I got your back. I love you, Tanya. What up, JP6? What up, baby? Kawana, keep coming to those meetings. Love your energy.
Listen, he said a
Where's,
shout out.
where's Sheena? Where's Sheena Weena at? Where's she at? Your homegirl.
I don't know. I talked to her. She needs to be sleeping. She's doing an HGTV home makeover basically on her house. So
She is. Yeah, I talked to her. I think it was yesterday I talked to her on the
yeah,
phone. She did
she's
tell me
doing
she was doing work in her house.
she's doing a lot, doing a
Yeah,
lot.
good for
You know,
her. All
and then
right.
she's got her children. She's a
Yeah,
mom, and
yeah.
so. But we got Patrick Jean stepping in. Thank you, Patrick Jean. And then to producer Jack. So listen, I appreciate you coming on. I'm gonna get on to some other stuff because I have some very strong views about what's going on and
Mhm.
with what's happening with our police. And then why do they hate? Why do residents dislike them? Why are residents upset? Because with the journalist Gus, he literally said to me that Mays was the problem. He said, let me rephrase this. I want to get it right. He says, well, we know that Mays was the problem. I said, I'm not going to allow you to say that. He's been deceased since February 2024. I said, that has nothing to do with Liddell and Candace's leadership. Liddell
Absolutely.
brought that failed leadership over from Maryland over to Michigan, and it's not working. She lost that race. 50,000 was the winner, Angela R. Jones, to her 6,000.
Yeah.
I said, and when we talk about that, they created this environment, they created this culture, and they created the climate inside of city council chambers. I said, so they can thank themselves. But I'm gonna get into that in a little minute. I'm gonna cover a couple more things. So I thank you again, AK, and sending you love. I appreciate you and
Yes,
all you do.
definitely. I love you, Tanya. Always. I connected with you, and I still think you got celebrity status. I choke up, when I talk to you on the phone. I was like, I feel like I'm talking to celebrity, but I'm gonna get to Flint. I got
You
to get
got
to
to.
Flint.
You got to get to Flint. You
Yeah,
got
I
to.
gotta get to Flint. I gotta see Flint. I gotta hit Russell Road, uh, Clio Road. I got to hit all those
It's
streets.
Clio.
Clio Road, Miller Road. I got to hit Miller Road. I got to hit all those streets that I've heard at the meetings and see some of
Well,
those.
Clack
And
likes
St.
Michael Clack
John's,
loves
definitely.
giving tours.
Huh?
Michael Clack loves giving tours.
Yeah,
So
that's who I want to get. Perfect. That's who I want to give me. That's who I want to give me the tour. Mike Clack,
he
definitely.
loves
That
giving
dude
tours.
bleeds Flint, definitely,
Absolutely. So
absolutely.
whenever you come, let me know, because we'll make Stephanie cook dinner for you. So
Yeah, Melissa Zambrisky. Hello, how you doing?
hey,
All right, y'all.
Melissa. So anyway, I appreciate you coming on, and now I'm gonna get into some of the other stuff.
All right, y'all. Have fun.
This was great. Thank you, AK.
Love you, Tanya.
Love you too. Mwah.
All right.
So, producer Jay, thank you. Listen, can you put up the donate sign? Listen, I cannot do all. Yes, Stephanie, I really did say I'm gonna have you cook. I thought you was off. I really thought you was not on here. I thought you went to bed. Oh, but yeah, Stephanie will cook. We'll cook it and be up to Stephanie house. So listen, producer Jay, can you put up the please donate sign? Please donate to $ Cash App producer J 1987. He gets paid for this. I don't take a dime. So please kindly donate to Cash App $producer J 1987. Also, he has at the bottom of it, it is on the scroll. It is Zelle. Email hcrcga@gmail.com for Zelle. So you can please kindly donate so we can continue, because we got a series that's going on. And literally, y'all been going over my notes, and there's some stuff that we got a lot of different pockets that we are going to talk about. So you can donate to Cash App $ producer J 1987. So now we're getting ready to get into the other part. Look, and it's at the bottom of the scroll. It's at the bottom. So look, I'm gonna start it off. I said what I said because we getting ready to talk about it. We're gonna turn this mother out. So listen, producer Jay, he quiet, y'all. He's quiet. So if we can put up our first one. So I'm going to say what I'm going to say because these are my opinions. The views of Tanya Burns is not the opinions of any other person or group. They are the opinions of mine. And it is what it is. So producer Jay, if you can put the first one up, which states how our emotions are. It's just a little bit of flames in it because we're going to get into it and we're going to finish talking about it. Now leave that up, please. Now listen, I said what I said. And we're going to leave it at that. Look, we're going to talk about and get into all of this because this is what I mean this. I mean it. Some of this stuff is pure foolishness and foolery. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. And I don't care how people feel because everyone has a right to earn and walk in their own truth. And with this next segment, I think it's going to be 3 segments. I'm going to walk in my own truth. But that's why I get on sister girl Angela Bassett. Said what I said. Okay. So now we're going to go into the first thing because it's a lot. It's so much that's going on. We have to. So the first thing, producer Jay told me don't send him nothing else. He literally did. So we're going to get into, which is disturbing, which is the police. And you've seen the officers, one specifically, Officer Wells. We have this tactical group in some of these officers, but Officer Wells just seems to keep showing up with a assault rifle across his chest. He's wearing it like a badge of honor, like it says, yeah, that's him right there to the left. Only one that's in there with a great big gun. No other officer walked in there with an assault rifle. He did. Yeah, leave that one up. So Officer Wells has been given some history is an officer with the City of Flint Police Department. He comes from, I'm told, and I'm checking into this, not checking into it, he came from another police department where he was let go. He came to Flint, works on the City of Flint Police Department. In addition to that, he was on the desk for 6 months. For whatever reason, he could not even be on the streets. Well, I think we find out. So he has his assault rifle strapped around his chest, and he loves mace. That's one of his favorite tools. And then he has his weapon, his firearm that he carries on his hip holster. And so Officer Wells has been very interesting because he's showing up in a lot of these videos where he's macing people. And his behavior is bothering. So I called because one of the things that I was really troubled about was the first one that I saw was when he decided to mace the young man. And he maced him. He was 4 houses down the street, ran across the street, told him to get back, excuse my language if you don't swear. There will be some swearing, but these are not my words. He told him to back the fuck up. And then you'll see how he's touching that gun. That bothered me during that time. And then he pulled out his mace and maced the person. So he also maced a lady that was in a car. Told her she didn't have her seatbelt on. She actually did. When she asked him, "Why did you stop me?" He said, "Because you didn't have your seatbelt on." Officer Wells, you told a lie. You told a lie. She was videotaping. So can we start one of the first videos? It's 3 of them, please.
Get the fuck back! Get the fuck back! Back! Get the fuck back! Back!
I'll stay over here.
Get the fuck back!
What you touching me for, bro?
Get
What's
the
your
fuck
name?
back.
What's your name? What's your badge number?
Get back! Get
Don't,
back!
hey, don't spray me.
Get
Don't
back.
spray me. You all on camera,
This
man.
my property.
This my property.
This is my property right here.
Go ahead.
This
Go
my
ahead.
property.
Do it. Do it. Stupid
Get
ass
back.
nigga. Do it. Do it. Sorry. What's your name? Mr. Wells.
back.
M. Wells.
Get back!
You see this guy?
Get back! Back!
You a bitch. Ah, he got me, done.
Go to the crib and get some milk.
He just makes deep, man. Yeah, he
Get
just
back.
makes it. Come here. I can't see. Come here.
Get back! I'm telling you, get back!
Ah,
Take him in the house.
I can't see shit.
Okay.
Go!
Come on.
Ah, I can't see my kid. Fuck. Hey.
Fuck y'all on. Y'all on some old hoe ass bitch ass.
Ah, I can't see.
Bitch ass police.
Ah, I can't see. I can't see. I can't see.
Hey, you a bitch.
I can't see. I can't see.
You a bitch, boy.
Bitch ass. Ah, I can't see shit, Mike. I really can't see. I can't open my eyes at all. You gotta guide me.
Step up. Step.
I can't see. I can't see. I can't see. Ah, shit. I can't see.
Sit down.
Hold on. No, I can't see at all. I gotta go to the bathroom. Take me to the tub.
You gotta put some milk on your face.
Yeah. Take me to the tub. I can't see.
What day was on?
Bro, I don't fucking know.
Okay. So can we play back Producer Jay? So this is Officer World. This is inside the City Council chambers. So this is the one, this was on June the 2nd. Then we also have the video, which was just, I believe, like a week ago. And so this is Officer Wells coming with a great big assault rifle because he wants to, number one, intimidate the public. Not one other officer came in with all this artillery on. Didn't happen. So I was told he had worked at a municipality up north and was let go. He came here and was on the desk for 6 months. He sprayed multiple people. And when you see that, when he pushed the men, that could also be considered an assault. They were not being aggressive. They were not under arrest. He had no business touching them. If you have been maced by Officer Wells, you need to file a police report. Contact me. You need to file a report. You got to leave paper on them. Why? He has an M-Code certification. His M-Code certification can be taken. Just like you earn it, it can be stripped from you because he's required to underneath a certain guideline to make sure that he's maintaining his part of the agreement and the training. What I've noticed, he's improperly trained. I really call, and I watched his actions, and it made me uncomfortable. I was troubled by it. I had police from different agencies reach out to me actually and ask me what is going on with him. So let's play the next video, please.
I know that's the nigga who ran past us
They done beat on this boy. Whoever he is. That's what they saying. Excuse me.
They searching cars, they doing
They're in the house.
Why didn't you go? You ran right past me.
Yeah, because nothing has happened at my house. That gentleman, and we've been out here.
That is your house.
No,
Wow.
we've been out here with the kids all day.
Woo, he slammed his ass in there.
I don't know.
Oh, that's on camera. He slammed him in that car. Damn.
By my fucking door, and now they just kick that bitch in again.
When you gonna get it? Okay. You got 2747. You know every car out here. 30.
Mom, hey, go on my page. You get the number. Go on my page.
My whole goddamn house can be on the goddamn.
Go on my page.
Counts 2747. Get all they pay 35.
Down the street from Queenie.
So there were two homes, and this is the story that I've gotten so far, that there were some young men still in the corner pointing guns. Not safe if they were doing that. They kicked down the wrong door is what I was told, but then they were detained, I think, 4 people. That was Officer Wells who threw him in the car. And so I'm looking at his behavior. We know that he ran across that street, maced him. He came from down the street to run across and to push the other young man. This officer clearly is not properly trained. He's not. If you are maced, file a police report. If you've been maced, and the word, I said, people are stating he goes through a lot of mace. He likes macing people. So let's play the next one, please. These are all the same officer that's involved.
I don't gotta talk to you.
Don't break my window. I ain't got nothing to do with it.
Talk to you. I ain't gotta talk. I don't have to talk to you. No, I don't gotta talk to you.
Don't break my window, sir.
Don't unlock nothing. Don't unlock nothing. I don't have to talk to him.
Don't break my window.
Don't.
He's trying to break my window.
What is you pulling me out the car for?
Out of the car.
What you pulling me out the car
Get
for?
out of the car.
What you pulling me out the car
I'm
for?
telling you to.
For
Get
what?
out.
No. For what? What is you?
Get out of the car.
You
now.
sprayed me, sir.
Get out of the car.
What's the you sprayed me in my eye.
Oh, it's too late. Okay. Turn around. Turn around.
You sprayed me.
Yep.
I didn't do anything.
Y'all know y'all fucked up, right?
Oh, okay.
You know you fucked up, right? You know you fucked up.
Nobody didn't do anything.
You know you fucked up, right?
Damn.
You just fucked up. You maced me for no.
Didn't have a seatbelt on.
I did have, but you was lying like a motherfucker. I just unclipped my seatbelt, dog. Y'all some bitches, man.
Okay.
Abby, just stop talking.
No, fuck that.
You're under arrest for resisting obstructing.
I ain't
You
resisting
can come back with
nothing.
the car, please.
That shit is crazy.
Can you play the first one back again? I want to play that one back and I want to leave this ingrained in people's memory. So if you can play that one, then I'm going to talk about it. The first one where he walked up and maced them.
Get the fuck back! Get the fuck back! Back! Bro, get the fuck back! Back!
I'll stay over here. What you touching me for, bro? What's your name? What's your name? What's your badge number?
Get back.
Don't spray me. Don't spray me. You all on camera.
This my property.
This my property.
This my property right here.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Do it. Do it. Stupid ass nigga. Do it. Do it. Sorry. What's your name? Mr. Wells. M. Wells.
Get back.
You see this guy?
Get back.
You're a bitch, bro.
Back.
You're a bitch. Ah, he got me, dog.
Go to the crib and get some milk.
He just makes these.
Okay, you can cut it. So one, he runs from 4 houses down across the street, telling them to get back. They were not threatening. They weren't loud. They weren't screaming. They weren't outraged. They were non-threatening. You have a right to videotape. He has, when you see him, he runs over. He has his hands on his trigger, on his, like where the trigger is, near the trigger. And you see as he's got the rifle and maneuvering with his hand. He decides to put that to the side with his left hand, and then he grabs out his spray to mace them. Now, the issue is down the street, and he's, he loves mace. And so this type of officer is dangerous because one thing he does not like, and it's clear, is Black people. He don't like Black people. And he exerts his authority. He shows you who he is when he comes in with the gun across his chest, the big gun, and he has another gun, and he's got mace. I don't know if he carries anything on his ankles or not. And he's coming in here. He comes in there to let them know, I'm in control, and I got my hand on the trigger. I'm going to get you bleeps. Trust me. This is a dangerous officer. He's dangerous. Before he could even work, they had to sit him down for 6 months because he had some issues. This is a problem. You should not come into council chambers like you in Baghdad or Ukraine and you go on to fight a war. Out of 20-some officers, he was the only one that had the judgment or made the decision to get the biggest gun that he had and come into council because he was going to let everybody know that he had the power. He was going to take control. He's always got that gun on him. Always. Chief Green did not take my call. Chief Green, you got a problem. You waited to 2025. I don't know if his video's just catching him to where you're having all kind of problems with your police. To 2025. We had the officers, but then again, that was led by you, Chief Green, on June 1st, Sunday, where they pulled Terrence Levy out of his car. He was slammed down to the ground. He was handcuffed while the car was in drive. We had Miss Wolford. She was handcuffed and detained and put in the backseat of a police car. Then the officer told her, you need to tell me thank you for getting your keys for you. No, you don't get to talk to Black women like that. And we got a Black chief, a Black mayor, and you got all this going on. This is nuts. This is nuts. Who's running the police department? So we got the lady right here. They were pulled over because they didn't have seatbelts on. Oops, I'm sorry. What is that in the picture? Seatbelt. To get out the car, you got to unclip your seatbelt. The video didn't continue on after that. But when we talk about this, and very real things, Sandra Bland, we have got Trayvon, we have got so many more Black people who lost their lives because of police brutality. Police brutality is real. George Floyd, get your foot off my neck, where he sat there and people watched as he made sure he couldn't breathe with his foot or knee on his neck. So people do record. Now, at some point, what happened in the council chambers, they said one of them still well popped off and bust somebody. That was, and let me say this. When you have the leadership gaslighting Liddell and Candace, they created this environment at city council, and this is the monster and the baby that they have been nursing. But when it gets to regular pullover, we have a problem. She's got her seatbelt on. She's got her seatbelt on. And when you ask name or Brown Flint, I guess, and badge number, you don't have to give it. They're like, no, we ain't got to do nothing. Do we want to do? We run this. The law states. So can we put up the MCOs part? I think I gave you a short clip. So when they do this, you need to make a complaint to the MCOs. When you have officers who do this. Philip Johnson said they have no knock warrants. Philip, I had a lady contact me today that her mother's house, not in my ward, first ward, her house was, came in after they tore the door down. This was today, about 1:30, 2 o'clock, and came into her home. It was her mother who cannot get out of bed, and her children, some kids there, came in, pointed guns at the kids and her mother. Now, I haven't verified the story, but I did call Chief Green because I need answers. They did tell her, the sergeant, that, they can get your door fixed, but they were looking for something that wasn't there. She has shared what she had when the incident happened in June. And so when you come into these people's house disrespecting them, and yes, I don't like gang violence, but I also don't like you to get the wrong doors kicked down. That's not cool. So, yeah, can you make it bigger? I can't see. So, MCOs. MCOs is the Michigan Commission of Law Enforcement. Standard license can be revoked. So these officers who are out here just macing people, just going rogue or cowboy, they need to be reported. You can report it to MCOs. A license can be revoked. Revocation can occur due to various reasons, including conviction of certain crimes, failure to maintain required training, or violations of licensing standards. Convictions of certain crime. Can we make that bigger? Convictions of certain crimes. The MCO Act moderates. Let me pull it up on my phone because I can't. Here we go. I got it. So, conviction of certain crimes. MCO's Act mandates revocation for individuals convicted of felonies or certain misdemeanors, such as domestic violence. So, you can't be an officer and beat your spouse or, your kids or other people or your girlfriend. So, failure to meet licensing standards. These are reasons it can be revoked. Failure to meet licensing standards. This can include things like failing to maintain required training or engaging in conduct unbecoming of a law officer. Fraud or false statements. Making false statements during the application process for a license can also lead to revocation. Violation of MCO's regulations. MCO's has the authority to revoke licenses for violations underneath its rules and its regulations. So you need to know your rights. And this is why I do a show. Hey, JWC, what's popping? So when these officers are out here going rogue, being a cowboy, you need to report them to MCOs, Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement. The address is on, I need it big, I can see it then. And so you need to make sure you report. I'm sorry, Producer Jay. So it's located, and that is still, y'all, I can't read it. It is located at 108 West Allegan Street, Lansing, Michigan. Phone number 517-322-5610, or you can Google it, Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement. You have rights. And when you know your rights, you don't have to allow them to trample all over. Now, unfortunately, some of these cases are going to cost and come back to us as lawsuits, as the one that was $175,000 for police brutality. That one came back as a lawsuit where the young lady Diamond Jackson won. The article Ron Funger wrote about it. about her receiving that because of police brutality, excessive force, and excessive use of force. She won a settlement of $175,000. Her case wasn't even a year. They settled it quickly. Now, they didn't go to court because she probably, with that case that Ron Fonger put it out. I mean, we have to understand what police brutality is. And it's dangerous. This officer Mason, these people, they weren't even doing anything. If Wells had to sit on the desk for 6 months, does that tell you he probably shouldn't have had a job with the city of Flint? I mean, I'm just saying, and we have to be conscious of that. So, Producer Jay, how you doing?
I'm good.
Good. So when we talk about, I sent you the So I want you to be conscious of what this is. If you see police brutality or police breaking the law, you can contact the FBI. I would do it in Detroit, the Attorney General. You have got to make sure that you report misuse and abuse. We do. Sad part that I don't like to see is having all these officers in city council chambers. Let them be on the street doing their job. But because we have such a culture and a climate in city council chambers that was created by Liddell and Candace, then that's what you get. That is what we are unfortunately getting, is that. So before we go on to the next one, look, y'all, if you can please donate to $ Cash App Producer J 1987. But we're going to get into why are they mad? Why are Flint residents mad? Because they got a reason to be mad. So if you can donate it's down at the bottom of the scroll. Tip the producer, Cash App, J19, Producer J. Yeah, them two different ones. I think the crawl is different. 1987. So it's down at the bottom of the crawl. So can we put up the pink thing? So I got a call. It's hot pink and white. Why are residents mad? One, with the reporter Gus, when he called, I told him I didn't feel you can take a snapshot of you listening or watching 2 or 3 meetings to where you understand the history of Flint and what Flint has went through. And so he was pretty adamant that basically y'all as the public don't follow the rules. Y'all as the public do not follow when directives, like they are the police. And so me and him went back and forth, and I gave him the correct information. Why are residents mad? 1, lever gears and all the pipes have not been changed. 2, nobody has been to prison for poisoning a city of approximately 100,000 people. 3, nobody has been paid from the water crisis settlement. People still have got hair and rashes and issues, and also aggressive cancers. 4, residents want home repairs, and the council continuously ignores them. Next one, Sunday's peaceful march, brutality and assaults were committed against seniors. People are upset about that. So this reporter who wanted a quick story to publish to basically give a snapshot of what his Flint he viewed, and that residents should not be angry. And other places don't talk to like that. Hey, Carl Lewis, how are you? Julian 724, how are you? And that he said other cities, they don't act like this. I don't agree with that. You have a right to voice your opinion. And other ones where they've won lawsuits, where they go and express their First Amendment right. You have a right to be angry with your council person. You have a right to express it. Now, the funny part is the irony, or is it the hypocrisy? Liddell Lewis and Candace with Shaq do not want people to cuss. They're on camera caught cussing. Both of them. Residents are mad because you tell residents, sit down, be quiet. They come for help. Dora Mayfield came to city council chamber. She needed help. She was sleeping in her car because her house, when it rained, she didn't have enough buckets to catch the water, that she was using her pots. She had one room, which was her bedroom, that was not leaking, and she would shut the door. She had COPD, and she was also on the walker. She came to city council, 2nd Ward, to get help from Liddell. Liddell removed her. She had her thrown out of council and weaponized the police on her. Liddell did that. It's on video. So when we talk about these things, what is the culture, the climate? We started doing, which there's a new group that we created to have support, which is called the Color of Law Coalition. And we started naming, going against, writing down. We came up with 60 something at that point, but it's over 80 plus people that have been thrown out. That was just one time. That's not including the people who are multiple times thrown out. And it happens a lot. Why? They make up laws and rules that don't exist. The police are enforcing the non-laws, the non-public safety plan, and putting people out on them. And I forgot we just catch up with it down the road. So people have a right to being, this is, don't just take a snapshot that people don't follow the rules. And also they blamed, it is TikTok and social media is why these people are so angry. This is why the people act the way they act. It's because of social media. Any ditwit who would believe that shouldn't be doing anything, because it is not that. People don't do that. These are very real emotions. So the lady who wanted her roof fixed was on social media, on a YouTube. No. The fact that they want people to come in here, sit down, shut up, and do as they do, and literally sit down. There is no you got to sit in your seat rule. There's no you can't hold the sign. You have to keep it stationary. These are not rules. They don't exist. They make them up. They make them up. So when you create this culture, this environment, this is what you get. So what I sent to him was the Chaos Queens. So can we play that video, please?
Oh, yeah, I got to find it.
Okay. Maria Porter sent a donation. I'm blocked on YouTube. Can't that be fixed? I'm a member. So wondering, I don't know what happened, Maria. And if producer Jay is listening, he will get that taken care of.
I haven't blocked anybody.
Yeah,
I'll look at it though. Give me a second. Let me find this.
Okay. So when we look at the culture and environment, you cannot be the pyromaniac burning down the house and then complain because you burnt it down. You don't get to have both. You can't be the victim and you can't be the person who did the victimizing. You can't do that. You don't get to be the gaslighter. And why she hates these shows, Liddell and Candace, because it tells the truth. Candace used the Me Too movement when she was speaking to Councilwoman Jerry Winfrey Carter. She used the Me Too. Okay, Miss Me Too. We know that the Me Too movement was started by a Black woman, along with, I think 5 or 6 years before, they call her Mattress Girl, who covered the mattress on her back. It deals with Black women. They don't take our rapes or our beatings seriously because of the color of our skin. And she started the Me Too movement. Rhonda Burks, she started it. And she did it because she was a rape victim. And for Candace to joke about being, the Me Too, like it was just the Me Too movement. Don't use it as a synonym, a homonym. Don't use it as anything. And definitely don't use it as a joke. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. When you use that, it was improper, it was indecent, it was uncalled for, but she always wants to do a snazzy clap back. The movement was started because people were raped. Yes, Producer Jay.
Hey, is it labeled the Flint City Council VP throws multiple residents out?
Not that one. It is the one, I think it's Chaos Queens.
Okay, I got it. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Jessica Stewart put hashtag justice for the 190. Absolutely. Justice for the 190 charges that were the women who were charged by Michigan's worst serial rapist, which was her father. And so for her to joke about the Me Too movement was reckless, irresponsible, and it should have never been done. It's not funny if you take a group of women, because I've done it before and talked with, I don't remember how the topic came up, and talking to them, you would be surprised what some of your friends and family members have went through. Going out, date rape, being raped by the person you went out with. Some had issues where they had, unwanted touch is an unwanted touch. Some had spousal where they was raped by their spouse, where they didn't, they were not in a good relationship. And when you get people who play this, play on this and make jokes about the Me Too to try to be smart, you're wrong on every single level. And she was. So this is what I sent to Gus, who wanted to give a snapshot of Flint. You don't get to do a snapshot of Flint by the two people who have perpetrated the problem. You don't get to do this. They lost the trust of the public, and they worked really hard to do that. So let's play the video so that Gus can understand why residents are tired of their shenanigans. And they're so over them.
We can't do anything until we get someone in this third seat. It takes 5 votes for the council to take action. I appreciate it though, sis. We can't vote on anything. We can't move forward because they went to their offices and didn't come back. The clerk went.
Sidebar.
Yes.
That wig is treacherous.
Well, it's channeling Shirley Chisholm, but it's okay.
And asked them to come back, and they said that they will not be returning to this meeting. So they went outside, I guess, to protest with Jedediah Brown. I have no clue, but what I do know is that we are here. And just so you can see for yourself, Councilman L. Alameen is here. Councilwoman Priestley is here. Councilwoman Mashat, she's right here, waiting to chair the meeting. We're here ready for work to show the community that Flint is open for business. But unfortunately, our colleagues in the 9th Ward, the 8th Ward, and the 5th Ward, and the 6th Ward have a different perspective.
You better relax, because you ain't safe. Fuck you think you're talking to, Eva? Go fuck. What's up? What's up? What's up? I better stop. I think so.
Point of order.
Shut up.
Yeah.
You get real hype.
Oh, no, I won't leave. I'm going to sit right next to you as you continue to try to intimidate women. That's fine, but you're going to keep it down.
Point of order.
I'm definitely okay with it. I will.
Point
right.
of order.
What's your... excuse me, I'm saying point. What's your point?
They're attacking him. They are attacking him. They are attacking him.
No, I did not see that.
They're attacking him.
Order. You don't see any of this shit that they're doing to me right
attacking
now.
him.
You don't see that.
I don't see it.
How corrupt.
They are attacking him. Both of them are attacking him.
5-minute recess.
Ow!
That bullshit. Look at that bullshit. Look at that bullshit.
Yeah, this is not fair. That's all I'm saying. No intimidation here, Piper. No intimidation here.
My colleague, it's not that I don't respond to you because I care about you being loud, because that's about all you are. You're never on point. You never have a point. You can never think of your own point. I don't respond to you because it would be bullying. I do not dare speak to people when I know they cannot compare in a conversation. Stop addressing me. The only reason you're packing up and leaving and saying you shouldn't come, you even asked Councilman Pfeiffer, what do you think? You have to ask him what he thinks because you can't think for yourself. And the one person that thought for you, God rest his soul, is gone. The one person you're sharing a brain with sitting next to you, now she's gone. And now you have to figure out. Appointed. And now that's okay. I am the appointed vice president of the Flint City Council, someone who stepped up in leadership because you were not bold enough to take the stance, because you needed somebody else to tell you whether or not you could take the position when you were offered a leadership position. So you are welcome that I constantly show you how to think for yourself. I show you how to be a lady. I show you how to be an adult. I show you how to be a leader. You are welcome.
So this money is only going to help your ward?
Well, let me tell you where the violence is coming from. Let's see. Great point. But let's look at the stats of the people that's been dying in these streets, coming straight from the north side, Mr. Pfeiffer. And if you were in the community, you would know something. But as you drive around in your Tesla truck, clearly you don't give one damn about what goes on about the youth over here on the north side. And so, again, we do apologize that over here that we're not driving around in Tesla trucks. We're not living in big houses. That's not what we're doing over here.
Please pause the time. What's your request?
We're also not driving around in brand new Cadillacs either. What's your point?
This is Traverse, not a fucking Cadillac. Oh, racist dick.
What's your point? At no point.
I will tell you, it's not his time. It's not his time. It's not his time. It's not his time.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do because this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do.
Oh, he just said fuck me. Did you hear that? Just like he jumped at me last meeting.
Okay, everybody pause. Mr. Pfeiffer. Mr. Pfeiffer. Mr. Pfeiffer.
Y'all heard him say fuck you. You heard it.
Hey.
What can be done? Well, the residents can come and speak out about this.
She also tried to stop my flow. So let me get back into my flow with the fact that, again, this is disingenuous. It's feigned indignation for someone that is a personal friend. She's saying someone is doing personal attacks or speaking to motives. We heard her entire rhetoric before I got the floor while she was telling us what we were doing. Is that not what she's accusing me of now? I need us to start watching Dishonest Deltanya Burns and how she moves. It has to stop today. It has to stop today.
I'm not going to allow her to attack my character by calling me dishonest Deltanya Burns when we looking at Kooky Candace, okay? I'm not going to allow that. Not today.
Go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. Again, as you can see, she's going to go low to try and stop me because she can't beat me verbally. So she has to say all kind of things to try and stop what I'm saying. I need us to watch the behavior. I need us to watch the fact that everyone that's around her that spends any time with her eventually points out the fact that she's a liar, eventually points out the fact that she's dishonest, eventually points out the fact that she's a loser.
You need to get her or I'm going to get her because I'm not going to allow her to slander me.
Stop me
and
again.
speak to my you need to be quiet if you know what point of order is. Thank you. Close your mouth. I'm not going to lie. You need to correct her. Speaking to my one thing I don't do is lie. We know you do.
No.
So I'm going to tell you don't go low because I'm going to go lower on you.
As always, Dirty Deltanya has to deal in dishonesty. As always, it has to be in order for me to do something, you have to do something for me.
You need to get her because she is a lack of decorum, name call. Y'all throw everybody out of here, including us. Get her together. Get her, warn her at this point. All this name calling, Dirty Deltanya and all this other stuff. That needs to stop.
Please be respectful for each other.
Do you deserve better? We think that you do. Mr. Jared, I kindly encourage you to reach out to Mr. Freeman because I don't want you out here ignorant and not knowing the inner workings of the land bank. And because it's important. It's important to know how they work and how they function. So when you do, I mean, I don't see what's funny because...
request for information.
Go ahead.
The word.
Request for information.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, did you just state you don't want him out here ignorant?
I did.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem. Please, I want to encourage you. Reach out to these council people. Tell them that we deserve better. We deserve more.
No decorum. No professional
Shit. Tell them what's going on. Say that ass. Man, they don't happy as hell. But they want us to talk. Yeah. They wanted me to talk. And they don't want me to talk. What they want me to say? Whatever I was gonna say. They ain't want me to say nothing. They wanted me to say. They knew I was coming. They knew I was going for her. They knew I was going for Tommy. I wanted to get the other bitch that was yeah, we shut it down. All the police ain't gonna look. One of the dudes in the jail gonna look.
We had some colleagues decide that they didn't want to sit in their seat and do their job. They decided to break quorum. And, you know, when you break quorum, you're not handling the people's business. Out of respect for our staff who's been here all day and they're here to get the business done. Clearly, we're at an impasse and colleagues are not willing to budge. So out of respect for the colleagues, as well as for the individuals that are here to see the business done, I will be removing myself from this meeting. So maybe next meeting, we can go on with the business of the city and move these monumental dollars.
Point of order. Point of order, Madam Clerk. Let this be clear that the staff is normally to stay to 9 o'clock. It is currently 7:02 p.m. And First Ward, Second Ward, and Fourth Ward and Seventh Ward are breaking quorum, whereas there is going to be unfinished business with the city. I am willing to stay here as long as it takes to pick a president and vice president. They are derelict in their duty. They are leaving their elected seats. They are bailing on the residents. They don't care. We are governed by the charter to pick a president and vice president on the second Tuesday of every November. They are breaking the council rules, breaking the Flint City Charter.
People think that we're closed for business because our colleagues, they just walk out at will.
Negotiated with, and that we expressed concerns about, the practicality of timelines and such.
This meeting is officially adjourned.
I object.
For a lack of quorum. You all have a good evening.
So the president and the vice
These are the tricks they play. These are the games they play. Look at our president leaving. Look at our vice president leaving.
No business.
And and I want the community to understand why they leaving.
They're leaving and going on vacation. City business is not done and they're going on vacation.
Right.
So if you are someone that care about the city of Flint, speak up. It's time to say something.
I mean, this council has not been fair to all of its members for 2 years. And it's time that we start taking care of the business. And we're all elected. If we care about the people tonight, then let's, number one, vote someone in. It is time for a shift. People have had their turns. You've shown us the best that you got. It's time to move on. Time to move on.
We need some help in getting our colleagues to follow suit until we can get someone to fill the third ward seat. Quincy would have stood on business. Quincy would have been here 10 toes down with his job. Quincy would have been here doing the work. But unfortunately, we are held hostage by individuals that have alternative motives for the city. Let's work for the benefit of the city.
Listen, y'all, that everything is for Xavier with 810 Flint. Good job and bravo. Look, let me give you a round of applause. I do that when I talk kindergarten. A round of applause. Xavier, you did a beautiful job. Thank you for putting that collage together. The stuff that they do is really unreal. Thank you, Christine Leach, for the super sticker. Thank you. And this was just a snapshot of what she's done. That night when Liddell, that night, Candace and Liddell boxed him in. I think Philip said exactly what they did. I can't remember what it is, but basically they flanked him, and that for I don't know how long. She was sitting in the wrong seat, and we've talked about this, that according to the charter, you have to be in your seat. You cannot vote by proxy. We must be in sequential order, which means she's sitting between the first and the third ward. She had switched seats. Eva had been gone an hour and a half. And all night, what they did was just drag Councilman Pfeiffer. Called him all kind of racist B's, you ain't SHIT, what you gonna do? Finally, I'm like, let me get about my seat. But they thought he was gonna budge. This Pfeiffer stood strong. Yeah, you're calling people. He didn't call her no monkey. He didn't call her one, but she acts like a fool. She definitely acts like that. And so when we talk about what they did, we were there for the business. Then she wanted to fight like she was on the yard, and she literally bucked up and what you gonna do? I'm like, are you kidding me? Now, this is the first time she ran up, because she ran up on me in 2022, where she wanted to fight me. And the officer had to tell her, I'm signaling Shirley Chisholm. She ran up on, or tried to, and Officer Davis stopped and said, Liddell, stop. Liddell, be quiet. Liddell, she zoned out because she was defending some garbage, a lie, but she didn't even know what she was defending. It was about Eva. I said, I didn't even know what she was talking about. She has a problem. Something is wrong with her. So when you have did your best, and underneath Liddell's leadership and Candace's leadership is why council is in the condition it is in. Liddell Lewis and Candace Mushat have birthed this baby of confusion and chaos. It's their baby. She doesn't respect anybody. She doesn't respect the people. And we're gonna be talking about this because she keeps wanting to put up posts. We're gonna talk about the posts, because we're gonna break them down, and we're gonna break her down like them wigs gonna be broke down. Because what she does is just egregious. She goes off on everybody unless you do what she tells her. Now, during one meeting, I remember Judy told me she had went off on Judy, and Judy was saying, I said, "What you doing to talk to you like that?" And I had people say, "Let Judy get. She deserves whatever she get." I literally have people say, "Whatever Judy gets, she deserves." Judy has said, "Well, you just don't know. It's not just them, Tanya. It's not just them. It's more than just them." Well, let me tell you something. I don't want to ever owe anybody the price of my common sense, my price of actually serving the people. I don't want to owe them that my dignity. I don't want to owe them that I don't have the right to fairly chair a meeting, because that's too high of a price to pay when you sold out. But Judy, everyone wants to know, how'd you pay cash for that kitchen? Because Attorney Kim, you told everybody, I paid cash for my kitchen, and 5 weeks before you borrowed $600 from Trevor to pay for your attorney for your recall. Yep, Judy, you did. You did. Judy's just as bad as they are. Judy keeps blaming. Stanley Wood called me. Hey, I need to know who's appointed to the Ethics and Accountability Board. I told him, I said, look, I told him who was on there. Then I told him who was on there, and then went over a couple things, with Stanley. And Judy blames us. Can you put up the guy? I think it's Steve Utek. So she claims that we ran him away. The guy, Steve, said he didn't like her. When he left out the door, if we were in the council chambers, he gave everybody the double middle finger. Literally, he walked out and gave everybody, this is not my middle finger. He gave us the double middle finger walking out. When we asked him a basic question, it wasn't rude to him. Hey, do you, have you ever read the charter? No. Do you know what these meetings are about? Well, no. And he got frustrated. We weren't nasty or mean to him. Those are basic questions. So on his Facebook page, which I think he's taken it down now, on his Facebook page, Christopher Utek, I gave him the wrong number. That's his name. That's what gave us a double FUs. And he didn't have very many friends on his page. This was who she appointed to the Ethics and Accountability. See, because we're going to be telling the truth on these liars. Judy, you're a liar. This was the man, and he was there with his wife. Now, I actually didn't have a problem because he didn't like Judy, and he was speaking his truth, but he could not answer the questions. So they had went to his page to look at Christopher Utek. So Christopher Utek didn't like Judy. So reviews given, Judy Priestley, Flint Fourth Ward Councilwoman, his review of her was horrible public servant, does nothing for the community. Let's leave that up. So this is the man who really just trashed her. He said that, and then we asked him about it, and he admitted, yeah, I said that she's a horrible public servant, does nothing for the community. Judy is trying to make everybody believe she brought in here the new pope and wanted the new pope for Fourth Ward. Judy, he didn't even like you. And if he can't get along with people, you putting him on the body. You made no effort to choose someone. Judy has never appointed one to this board. No one, not ever, not one person, not one person. This was his review, and he said, yes, I made that post. I said, well, I appreciate your honesty, because he was honest. Judy's his council person. He says, horrible public servant, does nothing for the community. So him asking the basic question, did you know what the charter is? He didn't know. And I think he got frustrated and overwhelmed and left. Judy, they ran him away. No, Judy, you ran him away. He don't even like you. Judy Priestley, you are a liar. You are a liar. We did not run him away. That man didn't even like you. See, this is where I say I put up the facts. I bring the receipts. I'm showing you the proof, because they'll give you some story that just doesn't add up. Now, they done gave this guy Gus at M Live a whole story to why no one likes him. No, they don't like you because you paying yourselves. We know that Candace's money is going someplace else. So we know that $300,000 is now follow the money. State Rep Cynthia Neely, $300,000. She's now going to get it from her. Because why? Candace and Liddell and Judy are keeping their foot on the neck of the people, and Mayor Neely loves it. Gus asked me, so you dislike the mayor? I said, it has nothing to do with my like or dislike with him. He has a job to do. I have a job to do. And all I care about is he does his job. If it's something that's good for the people, then it's good for the people. This isn't a popularity contest. We're not in sixth grade or where you send little candy grams. Do you like me? Check the box. No, I don't have to like you. What I do have to do is do my job and vote accordingly and do what my ward wants me to do. By the way, I need some of them with the other folks that they ain't answering their phones, like Liddell and Leon. They need, and Judy had the nerves to make a complaint, which was funny because Judy, that lady called me. I met her. Now, I met her. The one that the mayor told you to make the complaint about the person who lives on the corner of Mackin Road and Prospect. Yeah, I told her. No, you made that report, and showed her the text message to let her know that you don't take care of your ward, but you want to bring your nose all into the sixth ward. Yeah, I sure told it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because she did it to be smart. And she did it as a favor to the mayor. So I showed her the text message to show that you did this. So this is Judy, who can't take care of her ward, but she's literally reporting blight in the sixth ward. You got a whole east side that's got some issues, some serious issues, and you worried about the sixth ward? Get your priorities straight. So it is going on 11:49. Producer Jay.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you?
What you about to say?
What you about to say? So I want to say, we're going to talk about, the Dale keeps saying, first of all, look, donate, put that up, because the next one I'll put up is my tribe. And while you're looking for the one, I want you to show up, because I'm not just starting this in my, in how I feel. I do this because I care about my community. Put up the one, I think my son, who is now grown, going to college. He was a little boy. What I feel and how long I've been doing. Thank you, Patrick Jean, for putting that is. So if you can please kindly donate to Cash App, $Producer J 1987. It is also in the chat, and it is also on the screen. So when she's using this, and leave this up what I'm talking about. She talks about my page is monetized. Because I'm not asking this man to be on here for hours. And she's worried because, how many hours, I'm on. Don't watch. But if you're my number one fan, I need Liddell Lewis to $Producer J 1987, because you're worried about, what's happening on Tanya Burns, when you need to resurrect. Liddell Lewis needs to resurrect her failed podcast. But you can't keep telling lies, and them lies then caught up with her. So when she talks about, oh, Tanya Bird said her tribe. Yeah, my tribe is the people and the residents who speak up. If you live in Genesee County, you live in Florida, I don't care where you're from. If you speak up for yourself, that is my tribe. My tribe is the people who protest to say our water is not clean. My tribe is the people who said, let's go to Lansing and let's shut it down because you have a right to protest. That's your First Amendment right, freedom of speech and to protest. And when you know your rights, you better exercise them because we live in a day and time that they're trying to tell you that the big, beautiful bill is okay. Not true. People in Maryland didn't want Liddell. They voted her out 52,000 to 6,000. They really don't like her. She brought that failed leadership to Flint, and it's a problem with her nasty attitude, her condescending ways, her gaslighting of every person in this community. We don't need that. So residents have a right to step to that podium to tell you that's not what we want. Liddell, we got a problem that you voted to give yourself 50,000, 25,000. We got a problem that you were your own fifth vote. And then Judy, who is just a sidecar co-signer. Yes, sidecar co-signer. Well, she didn't give it to herself. It went to the IHUB, the hub. Well, Judy, stop. We want to know, show us where you saved for that cash kitchen. Show us where you tucked a little bit away. Show us in your checkbook, your savings book, Judy, because I want to see that. Show us how you paid for that cash kitchen and you don't have the courage to speak up. You do not. But when Liddell gets that money deposited into her bank account, Liddell opened up and started Sarvis Park in 8 August of 2021. She's the incorporated. She was the president. She was the executive director. She was the director until in September of 23, I pointed it out and I talked about it. And she switched and put her friend's name on it, Michelle McDonald. And so when we talk about these things, that then she took money and voted on it. And at the time, it was revoked. She had a revoked status from her nonprofit. It was revoked by the IRS. She's the incorporated. But what it gets down to, because what we say is follow the money on the timeline. Liddell Lewis Incorporated, that was her nonprofit. The money goes to her bank account. And she said, well, the nonprofit, Judy, belongs to the people. No, not how people run this hustle. Rodney Porter was on it. We're going to talk about that this week too. And Winters Hall did a good job interviewing Rodney Porter. We know that Sarvis Park, where she went to Ashley Capital, got $1,500 in other funds. And then Quincy got $11,000 lawnmower. We want to know, where's that lawnmower at? Now, when we talk about, what she continuously does to this community, which is gaslight us, it's a problem. She doesn't care about this community. She cares about how she's getting her money. And when it goes into her account, her name is on that bank account. Who withdraws from that? The community doesn't withdraw from the bank account for Sarvis Park with their name on it. You don't. Second Ward can't. Liddell is. So the money is her. Ethics. If you're doing a great job, make sure the environment that you created with your coworkers, and look, this is for my nonprofit, I'm going to recuse myself. You've seen Councilwoman Winfrey Carter recuse herself every time her father's was involved. Every single time. For the food market. Every single time she has. Liddell voted to give her own self $50,000, $25,000. Candace voted in council to give her, in committee to give herself $300,000. Now she did talk about that she did that beforehand, before she was on city council, and that part is true. But the fact that when the vote came up, you were sitting on council and you chose to vote for your own. You chose to, and that part I don't respect. Because they're there to hustle you to get your money. But Rodney Porter said, hey, I got a person that knows how to get you and get you a plug for your nonprofit. The same person, Mayor Sheldon Neely, wanted to put this person on the economic and development. She was his appointment. The question was, she lives in Atlanta. And was she living here full-time or part-time? I know her. Grew up with her. And so as he's talking on there telling the story, okay, that's fine. He was plugging in. Well, how did you get paid? Did the mayor ask? Winters asked him, did the mayor ever pay you anything? Did he promise you something? Well, he didn't pay me anything. Then somebody was in there, I think the chat, M. Scott said, well, you did get money. He said, well, I got money from Maurice Moore. Maurice Moore gave me money. Okay, so who gave Maurice Moore money? Because Maurice was going through some troubled times where his girlfriend had put on social media he was on crack. So where did the money come from? Where did Maurice get it from? Maurice, he said, I believe, got it from Trishelle. He was working on Trishelle Young's campaign. So when you follow in the money, so Rodney Pryor, I didn't really quite understand. Was he, saying, look, Mayor, I need you to finally give me what you had promised me. Whatever that little bit you gave me, I need some more. Because he was doing shows on the patio with the mayor. He was doing Pull Up or whatever the name of his show was. So he goes on the Dale page, which Dale is his favorite and the smartest councilwoman. So at that, Rodney Porter lost any respect. You're not an OG. You were acting like and sound like an old fool. Because this woman has caused so much harm to our community. This woman is diabolical. This woman has put out a woman who's a senior on a walker and put her out of council chambers when she said, I need help with my house. The blue tarp had blown off of the house. She couldn't sleep in there. And you want to say this is the best person? Oh, then I haven't watched it in 2 years. No, you're not an OG, you're an old fool. And I don't care what you say, because I've called you and checked you before. He's disrespectful, but everybody's in it for the hustle when he said, and Motis is the person who wrote it for you. Yeah, you probably didn't know that. I'll get you the plug 450. You can get it done in a couple of days or whatever. And I'm like, are they literally saying what racketeering and RICO is on this? Are they really telling you how to hustle and get the ARPA funds, make up a name, get a nonprofit, get you some money? I'll give you my plug. She gonna do you this. Did you really just spell it out for everybody? And then you ask them when my second show. Wendy said you didn't answer the questions for the first show. Then you have it in the name of a Christian name, Vanguard Ministries. But you be on Liddell's page making comments about council people, and you wonder what the problem is. You actually have a nonprofit. So they know they use religion to get over on Black people, use religion to get over on the community. If you want to get money, name it a religion. Everybody come out of prison want to be a pastor. A lot of them. And I'm glad you found Jesus, but I need you to walk in the life of the Lord. And so the new hustle is the 501c3. So he also sent, which it was interesting, he said he was following Jedediah for Mayor Neely. Well, he didn't say the name, but we know it was for Mayor Neely. And whoever Big Flint was, I don't know who Big Flint is. I have not watched that part, all of it. Let me say it in its full context. And so when we say these things that we are literally underneath, like this is like Thug Nation, to where we have people running this like it's a criminal enterprise. How do I get money to you? That's RICO charges, racketeering. I mean, they working together as a group. Well, I got it from, I told Rodney, and then Rodney didn't handle money because the girlfriend locked him out of his Facebook page and took it over and told all his business. Said he liked sleeping with prostitutes. Yeah, she did. She put that on there. She took over his Facebook page and wouldn't give it back to him. And so when we talk about this part, we got to look at why you don't get anything, why the residents come to that podium, they mad. Why? Because the residents do not have hearts of stone. The residents aren't thieving, diabolical people. The residents sincerely saying, I need help. Money has come to Flint, almost $1 billion, and it doesn't touch the hands of the residents. And so when the residents tell you we need some help, you don't throw them out. You show compassion. You tell them, I can do everything I can to help you. Before I put siding on my house, and yes, LaShawn, I'm going to call you out. LaShawn got new siding, new windows, new front porch. And underneath, they said she has a child there. Now, don't run up on me because I'm not the one. But I know look, we all need new stuff on our house. You get new stuff, LaShawn, and you're not even elected yet. You lost a race and you want to be a write-in. The sore loser law we thought would take care of that. She has a whole, and the house looks great. She new siding, new porch, new window, new roof too. New roof. And so why I have a point of contention with you, LaShawn, is because there are seniors like Dora Mayfield who could not sleep in her house, and she did not lie, and she's got grandchildren because she wouldn't let her grandchildren stay there. But you lied and told somebody you was babysitting grandkids and other kids. And you know what the people been saying, because you don't know who. LaShawn Johnson, you don't got grandkids, but Liddell got the hookup. Liddell's how you get paid. Liddell holds the money. Liddell told me how to get the money. So you coming in already, everything, and I'm gonna give you, your house looks nice. The refurb, it looks great. But when you come and people want to know why the residents aren't here, because the residents don't get nothing. If you got to scam, lie, cheat, sneak to get it, the residents are saying, I don't want it. She said, oh, I had my name on the list for 5 years. Guess who's filling the list for 5 years? Yeah, 4 of us are. 4 of us. Because who shows up for the people? If you can be proud, well, Adele got the plug and I'm helping. You better watch out, because I'm hearing that people are paying LaShawn. People are saying that you got people paying them for signing them absentee ballots. They saying it. So you better be careful when y'all going to people. And can I help? You need me to help you fill out your absentee ballot. Please do. And then call, because it's a felony. You can't do it. You can't do it. And so when the people wonder why they're upset and they step to that podium, because no matter how hard they work, no matter how hard they try to do better in their lives, that it would take for them to get a new roof, to get a new siding, to get a new front porch, to get new windows, to lie, cheat, scam, and steal. And they don't want to do that. Just give them what they deserve. The money is there. Saginaw put over 200 and something roofs. I think 300? They put over 200 and something furnaces. They got windows they put in. And the only people who get paid here who are tied to the unethical 4, because they're getting paid, Liddell $75,000, Candace going to get her $300,000, because pull up State Rep Cynthia Neely, who will never talk to you, never open up her mouth to say anything, but she's putting $300,000 for the nonprofit that was started by Candace Mouchette. And so when you wonder why you don't have the things that you need, it's because you're not with the people who are willing to do anything for, because you have integrity, because those residents have character, because they have respect. And I'm going to call out the clergy too, because as much as this clergy has seen us going through, that you have not stepped in them chambers to correct it. And when God has started unveiling things and exposing and showing you, Christopher Martin is the tip of it. God then broke him down to his Stacey Adams, and I don't think God is through yet. You can't keep lying on the people, cheating and think you're smarter. You can't keep doing that. God is not pleased. So as you got people talking about it and people sharing it, which I didn't share one thing on Bishop Christopher Martin, because it wasn't the time. I didn't share it. I didn't comment. I've never liked that man. I've never liked him. And so when we look at that 300,000, where is it going? Flint Community Lab sponsor amount, State Rep Cynthia Neely. Follow the money. They'll tell you how to get the money. This is the mayor's wife. 300,000. Description. This funding will support the Flint Community Lab's work in providing residents with an independent and reliable source of water, quality testing while continuing youth workforce development STEM. Lab is a sponsor. The Flint Community Lab is sponsored project of the Great Lakes Aquatic Habitat and Fund, the DBA Freshwater Future. The initiative delivers clear public benefits by ensuring access to trustworthy water. You don't hear the state rep talk about all the water that is still brown, tan, beige, cloudy. She don't speak up for. You don't hear Candace Mouchette say a damn thing about the water, but she wants $300,000 to test the water. Candace Mouchette, you are a big fraud. She don't say anything about the water from her council seat. Why? Because she's going to collect her $300,000 in coin. 300,000. So when residents step to that podium, they're stepping to that podium because they're tired of being used and abused. The seniors who have stayed and upheld this community, seniors who have retired, and the very least they should have been able to get was not to be poisoned. The very least they should have expected was that they could cut that faucet on and drink the water, cook with the water, bathe in the water, and they couldn't. And for over 18 months, the federal government, the local government Flint residents were failed at every single level when they lied to them. And so when the residents stepped to that podium, suck it up, Buttercup, because they got a reason to be pissed. Candace, you about to get $300,000 and you don't even talk about water ever from your council seat, ever. If so, maybe twice, not in depth, because you're not going to blow your bag. Now, I'm not mad at your girlfriend because that's what other con artists do. They make sure they don't blow their bag. Liddell ain't blew her bag. Judy got to stay in there because she paid cash for a kitchen. And Leon, I got to do a whole show on you because that entire nonprofit, some of them donations were revoked, or the nonprofits were revoked because they had ties to terrorist organizations. He took money, not my fact. Do your homework. Follow the money. Follow the money. And so when they stick together, it's not for your interest. When they stick together and vote and throw people out, it's because it's not for your interest. When they lie, cheat, steal, get rid of the people, threw Mays out for 30 days, threw Mays out for 90 days, threw me out for 30 days, it's because people are speaking up. And when people speak up, they don't want that because they don't want exposure. They don't want attention brought to them because they still ain't finished getting their bags. They want their bags. They're going to blow their bag. So House panel asks to IRS to revoke tax exempt status of 9 nonprofits, some with ties to terror. Okay, well, who got money? Now, he was out on Channel 12 News. He got money from one of these organizations. And so I'm going to keep talking while we go to the next slide because it's shown as highlighted in red because I'm telling you where it came from. Now, Leon not only shows up when it is to be an emergency vote or vote that they need him to make sure that they're going to get what they want. He doesn't like talk a lot. He's quiet. Now, what he should have did, because he does a good job with those homes, he does a terrible job on council. He does. So Flint, Michigan, Made Institute will continue to fight against recidivism with $283,375 grant from the Islamic Relief USA. Islamic. So we got $283,375. Let's go because we do it. I want you to follow the trail. We're going to do this together. So let's go into the next one, which shows the name of the company. So this company was one of the 9 that had their IRS status revoked. It was one of the 9 that was taken because of ties to terrorism. So we got the councilman in the first ward dealing with organizations. He's received well over like 1.2 or 1.3 million. But we don't know because he didn't file his 23s and his 24s. So we don't know that. So in here, this is other money. So not that one. That was money that he received from the grant. He received money for that. But let's pull up the next one. We can scroll through here. So when they tell you stuff, what they don't want to do, people don't want it, they shouldn't be doing shows. Yeah, we need to educate ourselves. So you share this, share it out, share it out. Because this is the stuff that we need to be talking about. We need to. So when we talk about his money, so Islamic Relief Fund USA is on the list of 9. Now you go to the IRS at the top, you see it in the blue. It's one of the 9. Islamic Relief Agency, revoked because of ties to terrorists. I'm not making that up. I'm showing y'all. Follow the money. Now, if anything ever looked like a hustle or people say RICO, let's go to the next one. Or do we have another one? So for me, when I look at Councilman Leon, and he may be very likable, council is not for you. You don't come, you don't answer your phone. And those councilmates have the best attendance. They went from the council who had the best attendance to the one who has the worst attendance. And yeah, I know you was talking crap about us when you're little, but that's okay. Show up, Leon, or better yet, just stay home all the time because you getting paid either way. You show up because you want to get that third vote to get them some more money coming in. And so here's the problem. They're getting paid and the residents aren't. And so when residents aren't getting their money, they're going to be upset. If residents are still cutting on their faucet and the faucet smells like sewage, it smells like rotten eggs or has a high smell of chlorine, then that means they're not getting what they deserve because they're getting their portion. Matter of fact, it's not a plate that they eating off of. They eating off of a platter. A platter. So Candace, who doesn't ever talk about water, is now a state representative who never has did an interview, never talks to the public, and shows up. And now Mayor Neely's wife is making sure Candace will get her $300,000. You can see how follow the money. I'm showing everybody. Look at Leon, how he's getting. Leon got well over $1 million. Well over $1 million. And then, did I send you that one too with his money breakdown? Can we put that up too? And this isn't all of it. It needs to be updated again. And so when we look at this stuff and why people are angry, people have lived in the water crisis. It's another one. It should be like words, but I may not have sent that to you. So when people say, okay. And so when people say, why are you mad? Why are they upset? One, you raise your voice, you're thrown out. Two, you clap, you're thrown out. You call, you're thrown out. Now, why they got the greatest hustle going on? And people say, why is the FBI here? I don't know. They've been reported. I don't know if they're busy in Pontiac. They're busy in other places. Those golf courses that keep going to the guy, Frank, and, underneath the 75,000 and he breaking even. And they're saying that he's getting kickbacks. The council didn't approve for them for those to go back there. We did not. And so when we talk about why the residents are angry, there's no other city that has had a water crisis, a pandemic, job loss. Residents, our literacy rates they have a problem with our education system. People can't afford to live here or the water. What we pay in 1 month is what people pay some in a quarterly or 6 months. And so when we talk about all these things, and as Gus called and he wanted to say, well, residents shouldn't act like that. How dare you, Gus, with them lie? As many journalists that I've talked to, I've never had one who wanted a story more than he wanted the truth. I've never talked to one who wanted the story more than he wanted the truth. Because it's about the people. Yes, Flint is a resilient people, but it's a time when the residents of the city of Flint are saying, where's my portion? Where's my portion? And LaShawn, you need to be careful because you told someone who was a relative of mine that Liddell is the money person. You don't know who. Now she can get you some side and she can get your house fixed up too. You're telling people this, LaShawn, and you don't know who you be talking to. And so when you talk about who my tribe is the people who are tired of coming day in and day out, and money is sent here to make their lives better. And the only people who get it are the elected officials. Anytime a company comes into this, LaShawn, you took $500 from Ashley Capital. They didn't know who you were. Did the mayor ask Ashley Capital to give that to them for your campaign? You become a part of the problem and not our future solution. You take that you didn't know who they were. Did the mayor ask them for you? Every company comes here and we've seen the check. Yes, leave this up, please. So when we talk about what my tribe is, the people who stand up, the people who say, even in a cold protest, Flint lives matter. People who are standing up saying the water isn't clean. That's my tribe. The people who are saying the injustices that happened to Flint, the police brutality that has happened to Flint. That's my tribe. No, I didn't condone what happened in council chambers. That's for MSP or whoever to investigate. But my tribe is the one who showed up to speak at the podium and to speak their truth. That they understand that they have the right underneath the First Amendment to exercise their right to free speech. They understand that the Open Meeting Act allows them to speak. And you can't complain about people when the culture and environment you created by calling people bitches and shut the fuck up. And Candace and Liddell, those are y'all words. By antagonizing a man, gaslighting this community and gaslighting your colleagues. You can't say I'm going to choose to be a leader and no one else will know what happened, because the content creators, this is for you. Thank you for being content creators. Thank you for keeping a video library so that when they are lying, we can go back to say, here is the truth. We can present the truth because the world sees you. The world sees the underhandedness, the dirtiness, the backbiting, the deceiving, the selfishness, that you're going to make sure you don't blow your money bag. That is my tribe. It's the people who are holding you accountable. So you can keep talking about my tribe because I'm going to stand with my tribe. Now, if it's condoned, I don't condone violence. Not at all. So you can put in the spin on that and gaslighting. You can stop that because we know you like to run up on people like you wanted to run up on me. And can you put up, not just that, let's put up, oh, there's one with me and my son on it. And so when people understand, when I say I'm true to this, I'm very true. And I believe in this, that you don't allow people to tell you something, believe you or my lying eyes. That water is clear. It's clear when the water was not. I took my children to these protests. And some of them, I literally started back and I'm like, look, can we do some warm weather protests? Of course, I couldn't make it all because, look, I've had to work and I was a mom of three. Am a mom of three. You do what you can. And sometimes doing what you can is people have the ability to come to the podium and speak. Sometimes you can leave that up. That's all that they can do is come to the podium to express how they feel. Doug saddles up to that podium all the time to talk about me. And he says he has a right to speak. He doesn't have to like me and I don't like him. But when we talk about who's in it, who's protested, I got my receipts. My tribe is the people who stand up for rights. They stand up for injustices. My tribe is the people who love Flint genuinely. My tribe is the people who say when you tell us that the water is brown, when the water is brown, that it's clear. That is my tribe. And so you can keep saying things about me and trolling me because I'm glad you're my number one fan, but I need you to start donating to the Tanya Burns Show. Since you like to record, Liddell Lewis, record this show. I need you to donate too. I do. Because you weren't even here. You say, oh, I delivered water. But you got problem with other content creators or people who on social media. I appreciate what they do because they make my work a lot easier to prove that you are a lying person. To prove and to show that when you have the hypocrisy to tell people how to act, when you're the main one started calling people bitches. You did that, Liddell. And first by line is saying Councilman Mays did it and he didn't. You called me a bitch. You called Councilman Pfeiffer a bitch. Those are your words, Liddell Lewis, not mine. So make sure that you video record as you stalk my page and make videos and you stalk Councilman Jared and Councilman Pfeiffer and Councilwoman JWC, the ones who stand in the gap to deal with your nonsense. Yeah, I voted for this vacation because I got a little bit of rest because what I'm going to be for the next few days or whatever, I'm going to be on your ass. That I am. Because one thing I don't believe is you run for the people. You run for the people because you care for the people. I done did all the things that you want to do when you people aspire. I done flown on private jets. I done stayed in fancy places and hotels. I did that with my own money. What I never did was took it and stole from the people. I did it with my money. Because I believe when you work hard, God honors your heart and he blesses you. He takes care of you. But when you steal from the people, nothing comes from it. Ask your pastor, Bishop Martin, because underneath his leadership, we see why you are misconstrued, that you have issues. Underneath his leadership, which is why you are the way you are, when his entire family has dragged church members, not just church members, when he called a pastor gay and acting like a girl. This obsession that you got with the LGBTQ community, the fixation that you have with it is disturbing. So I want people to understand who my tribe is. My tribe is the people that support the Tanya Burns Show. My tribe is the people that I do this to glorify God, to make sure people understand that everybody in politics is not corrupt. And if people think that if everything we go through with them, it's not easy. I didn't just start this. I do this because I care for my community and I want it to be better. I ain't out there in no shorts and no little summer shirt. This is winter and it's cold. And now this little bitty baby who was my son, he is now grown, going to University of Michigan. His dream is to be a cardiologist. Straight A's. He's goal driven. Why? Because we raised him up, me and his father, the way in which he should go. That's what we did as parents and co-parenting. That despite our disagreement, we loved our children more than our dislike for each other, and the passion that we have for community. Teaching your children to be in the community and get involved. So when you talk about my tribe is Flint. My tribe is the people who care. And I don't believe in boundaries. I don't care if you're in Alaska, you to California, you in Georgia, you in Rhode Island, you in Pennsylvania, Wyoming, you in Texas. If you care about people, you are my tribe. And I am your tribe. Biggest march that ever happened in the United States was the March on Washington. People came from everywhere. They said, if you can't get here by car, come by bus, train, plane, bicycle. But by God, get here. When you want injustices to be changed, you have to get involved. And sometimes the only thing that people can do is make it to that podium to try to express themselves. Everyone isn't a great orator or a great speaker. But you got to look at people's heart and not throw them out. Especially when you cuss at people yourself. You treat your colleagues disrespectful. Section 3-104 of the Flint City Charter states we must act with decorum, not only respectful to each other, but be respectful to all of you when we're in those meetings. Underneath Liddell and Candace, it has been a dumpster fire. Worst meetings chaired ever in history. And they get to own that. They birthed that baby of chaos, and they need to rock that baby to sleep. Get out and vote. Vote for August. If you're in Flint, call, let them know. There's only 2 people on the ballot. 2 people on the ballot. Beverly Biggs Levy was robbed of her first election, 589 to 548. That race was never certified. I didn't agree with that. And although it differs from Deacon A.C. Dumas, he says all of Precinct 10 wasn't counted. There's 2 people on the ballot. I don't believe in write-ins. I do not. I do not believe in that. So, Producer Jay, I'm sorry, y'all, I got a little long-winded. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
So, I want to put up before we close, and I don't know what the other ones I'm going to do. I think we're going to have one on Thursday. And I want to say this because as I've watched people be stripped and council members didn't have the courage to vote for what's right. St. Mark does have food giveaway tomorrow. They do. But when people didn't have the right to vote, they turned down all 4 of them to reach. Thank you for putting that up. Thank you. So tomorrow, 9 a.m. food distribution, St. Mark outreach. Liddell Lewis had the audacity to be in the line and then to vote it down. Judy voted it down, Candace voted it down, and Leon voted it down. They have not voted, and that's the last one with the 4. The one with the 4, they said, don't feed anybody. But look, they getting 300,000, 50,000, 70, 25,000 paying cash for kitchen, but they don't want to feed the community. It's not what the Bible teaches you. It's not what they do. And so St. Mark will be giving out food tomorrow. Also, I want to share this, and one of the things I'm gonna do is do the walk. We're gonna go back. I want to put up the flyer, which I have not said anything, which I guess I kept it very. Oh, y'all, it is 12. Lord Jesus. How many are on here? Because I don't have how many is on here? It is going on 12:30. Y'all are some night owls.
Over 200.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, look, I want to say this because when I say God is good, God is good. I sent you a flyer, the one that's up there, and it's senior car trip. I have held on to this. Everybody knows that I was rooting and cheering and protesting and trying to help Hasselbrink. Hasselbrink will be moving to a permanent home. that they're not underneath the jurisdiction of the city at all. They will not be. House of not the House of Spring Senior Center just found a home, and want to say thank you to Pastor Reed of Mount Calvary Church, which temporarily allowed them to stay there. It's in blue with like a little, that's it. Leave that up. So they allowed them to move in temporarily as Mayor Neely evicted them. So Mayor Neely evicted them. He also evicted Yvonne Penton with the House of Esther, Father Duquette, where they broke in. And I'm going to show y'all the video that we have. And that's going to be another day. And the rooms that they stole everything from, the beds, the cribs, the lamps, the rugs, the sheets, the pillows, the pillowcases, everything. And then Mayor Neely locked them out. Mayor Neely locked them out. So as he was threatening and took to court with Hasselbrink, you had two groups that he's went against the people, Hasselbrink and the House of Esther. House of Esther was to help young teen mothers who age out of the system, that they would be able to be in a home with their baby, to promote a healthy lifestyle, make sure they continue their education, and to change the trajectory of the child. And so Hasselbrink was removed. It was in March. They went to court. Beverly says, I don't want to keep dragging this out. They gave them an astronomical amount of rent. Why? Because she would not tell Congresswoman McDonald Rivet when she was running, or was it? Yeah, her to leave. She said, I can't do this. It's a public building. So what did they do? They imposed a rent on her that would have been $5,546 per month, and the rent had been $1 before. 2002 was the last time the city of Flint covered any senior centers. Under emergency management, they were removed. We didn't have the funds for it. I don't even know how we're paying for it now. And Mr. Moore, I need him to send me that, and because I've asked and I haven't gotten it from him yet. So they're going to be moving to Calvary Church. So I literally had to hold on to this one. So I got a call, and let me back this up. First, I'll say about Pastor Reed. Pastor Reed has a lot going on at the Kennedy Center, and he did allow him. So he did graciously allow them to temporarily be there. So we appreciate Pastor Reed for allowing them to be there until they found a place. So, because God blesses you when you do things right and you stay prayed up and you're prayerful and you stand on your faith. So I got a call, and it was Pastor Timmons with Calvary. He actually is the pastor over 2 churches. And he says, I need to talk to you. I said, well, hey, how are you doing? And how's your wife and family? We went through the, how you do. He says, I need to know. He says, we're going to probably sell the church. And the church is on Flushing Road. The church is about 106 years old, I believe. And it's a Luther Calvary Methodist church. At its peak, it has 650 people, big church. And so I've had meetings there. Matter of fact, my first meeting was in his church when I ran for council. He allowed me to be there. And I appreciated that. And creating the bond with him as a clergy, as a pastor, that he believes in community. He worked with many organizations, the youth, children. Also, there was one he worked with that would do repairs to homes in the area. And he's just really about community. So he called me and said, we're going to sell the church. I'm like, oh, wow. I said, well, what's going on? He says, do you know anyone who may be looking, or investor? I said, I do know maybe some investor. Let me call them. Then I called Beverly Lewis of Hasselbrink, the director. And I said, yes, Christopher Sims, it's 6th Ward to 2026. You know how the boundaries are. So 6th Ward, we claimed it because I had meetings there, claiming it. And so I called. So I hung up and I called. I said, the Holy Spirit just, and I'm like, I called. I said, hey, I want to run this by you. I said, I think I found you a new forever home. And she says, what do you think? What are we talking about? I said, what do you think about Calvary United Methodist Church? She says, is that the one on Flushing Road? I said, yeah. The brown big building? I said, yeah. I said, I got a meeting tomorrow with Pastor Timmons. Let me see, because something just telling me, Bev, this could be it. And so I met with Pastor Timmons the next day, because haste makes waste. When you're doing business, you take care of it. And so I met with him. Now, back in the day, Mayor Neely took some of their funding too, and so he's continued to work in this community, him and his wife both. She pastored Bethel, which is in my ward, until I believe she had an accident or something that got her, she could no longer pastor or minister. So I met with him, talked to him about what Hasselbrink could do, and that they needed a home, that they needed a forever home. And I thought this would be a good pair for the community, because he kept saying in our conversation about community, I wish it was something we can do for community. I wish we had someone could buy this building that would use it for something that would serve this community. This is right on the edge of Mott Park. Okay, this is in Mott Park, actually. It's Mott Park area. So we met and we talked, and we did another walkthrough, talked about what would be great. I said, hey, what do you think about House of Esther also? Because they were removed and they don't have a place. They've got like 8 rooms, I believe, that they were housing homeless people or battered women. That's in the church, okay, in the part of a huge church inside. And he said, I think that would be great. So I called Bev and I said, look, so before we left, because anything that I purchase, buy, or do, including running for the seat, I'm riding on so much faith. That is the seat I am sitting in. It's the faith seat. I promise y'all that. And because I had no idea, because it's a very nice and taken care of church. So I say before I go, I said, Pastor, can we pray over this? Because if it's God's will, I want to do what is in God's will to be done on earth as it is in heaven. We prayed over it. Called Bev, got to the parking lot. I got a little emotional in the parking lot. And I said, I think we found your forever home. Called her. She had ridden by the church already. I didn't know she had rolled by. And so she on the phone. I'm like, no, we can't cry yet. We cry after we do ribbon cuttings. And so they will be moving in August. She took her board there. By the way, I took my son to the meeting. He was like, Mom, you made me carry the purse the whole time. We didn't meet with all these older people, because he considers I'm old too. And we sat there, and just to hear the excitement with the pastor, his deacons and his trustees and her board, that they had a place that they could grow. Y'all, I was so excited. So excited. So in August, the first week of August, they will be moving to their new location too. I'm saying the 6th ward until 2026, the 6th ward. But it's going to always be the 6th ward as far as I'm concerned. And that's when you work for your community. And putting the seniors over there, they got an elevator over there. It's handicap accessible. And they got room to grow. And it was a situation pairing one group with another group that worked out. And so to God be the glory. I'm telling y'all. So to a forever home, and they don't have to worry about being evicted or kicked out like Mayor Neely did. Mayor Neely had them removed. They got a place where they can rest their head and grow. Now, I have a senior population over here that need a place to go. So they'll be growing in their numbers too. They'll be growing in their numbers, because one thing about the 6th ward, they support and they embrace. And this is such a blessing. So everything that Beverly Lewis went through and her staff, God gave them a place to not only be complicit, to be happy, but to grow. And this is what I'm happy about. So it is a union made in heaven. And I am thrilled that Hasselbrink will be in the 6th ward. So listen, I'm so excited. And I've been holding on to that. So look, I kept that on the low. So I have not even put it up. Y'all, the first one I'm telling you, I have not even put it up on my page, or I have not done it yet. But they did a senior car trip today. And she said to everybody, she's telling you, there were so many people loved it. Just so many people like, we just want to be, but we ain't got to worry. To not worry about, stress about being kicked out, about, having to share a building with anybody like this. This is God's divine work. God made this happen. So road trip when Grace Senior's going to be over there, and they working out transportation for those. They have one lady that walk, but she does it for the exercise. We got places you can walk over in my park. They got a nice little trail around the park that's all nice and asphalted that we did 2 years ago, year and a half. Was last summer. Y'all know my years and days running together, so I want to say that. So I appreciate everything.
Probably be a good idea that she walks with them roads y'all got.
Man, look, them roads, our roads is treacherous. They treacherous. They treacherous. So I am appreciative that we will grow, and we will have new seniors because it's accessible. The church was not being utilized to its full potential. It was not being utilized to its full potential, and now it will be. Pastor asked if he could just have, he does 2 services. Some of the members didn't want to move. He'll hold service there on Sunday. They'll be able to do theater there, plays, because all the main sanctuary, it's got 2 sanctuaries, seats, I think 650. It's got a sound, it's got some stuff I don't even know what to do with. I have no idea, but it is ready. You can do anything there. And it's, the good part is they working with someone who is like-minded, someone who is business, someone who has the heart of the people, who has the heart of community. So a great big thanks to Pastor Timmons and the Calvary United Methodist Church and who's over him. So this is what it is about. And House of Esther, there's a place for them there too. So when God said, I'm gonna correct you and make you whole again, won't he do it? Won't he do it? So I'm gonna close out on this because y'all, we're gonna do part whatever on Thursday, and then we're gonna do Saturday morning, get back to our normal. So people are saying look for Saturday morning. Look, your girl been tired. I've been exhausted because it's a lot of things. I don't just do counsel. I do consulting work because I've shared like some of the things that I do. And then I dealing with my mother, just life. And them council meetings, they'll wear you out mentally and emotionally. And because I like to do what's right. So my job don't stop even when I'm off. It don't stop. It don't stop. So Tasha Lynn, we miss Carol and Stephanie too. Yeah, I have told them that they need to get back doing their show, but they doing some different things. Carol's on second shift. So, but look over on the Urban News Network. They did do, I think, 1 or 2 late nights with Clutching Your Pearls. They have done that. They have not done that. Hey, Sandy, and y'all keep Sandy in your prayers as she she had went to court and she found out she goes back July 21st, her and her daughter. So that we see people who are continuously removed, who are denied the right to speak, but Davina did do a public apology about that. And we're going to talk about that because we're going on the 1 o'clock. So I want to say thank you to Patrick Jean for helping to navigate in the chat, to each and every one of you. And Producer Jay, thank you. And you have been maintaining that page when at times, literally, I was just exhausted. So I want to say thank you for everything that you do, because I know we do a lot and it takes a lot to keep us going. And you actually filled in the gap and you towed us along. You were like a little tugboat and tugged us along. And I thank you for going through this process with me, because you don't live here. You did come here and lost your tire. And so didn't tell me he was going. And the funny part is, and me and him joke about this, he was like, oh, I got something being delivered to your house at 8 o'clock or 8:30 in the morning. And he was like, did you get it? And so I was like, well, what is it? He was like, oh, just look on your front porch. And what happened, Producer Jay? Tell a story before we get off.
Well, so first of all, you got to tell the part when you came out of your house in your robe.
No, the one now they say I don't live here or sleep here. I don't live here. So do I live here?
You definitely live there.
Did I know you were coming?
Had no clue.
Mm-mm.
Although I had told you about a month before.
But we had not talked about like the arrangement. I didn't remember that. You said, I told you, Burns, I was coming. But I appreciate that you hear God doesn't make mistakes. He was there to record great footage of June 1st, the peaceful protest that turned into everything but that. And that was his footage that he had, and throughout the day. I took him to the local bar. I took him to Rube's because I support local business. We went to have a cocktail.
Stop for a second. Now, that place was hopping now.
It was. I said the local bar.
Can't cap you now. I can't cap on that one. That place, first of all, when we first got there, I was like, what the hell is she taking me into? But we got in there. definitely a place to visit when you go to Flint.
It is. Listen, I support mines. That's in the 6th Ward, y'all. And so I did not know that he was coming. I didn't know. He's like, I told you. And yes, he lost a tire. He had to get a tire replaced. Lost his hubcap too. He did.
Yeah, them streets are disrespectful.
Listen, that part. So, and it's funny because when we see people like, oh, she lives in Flushing. Yeah, I had that house, but I don't live there. Look, I like peace over anything. And me and my ex, we co-parent very well together. Now our son is grown and we're friends. And that's the way it should be. And so when people say, oh, she doesn't live in, look, I wish I had the house that I had built, but that ain't the one that I'm in. It just happens that way. But I'm looking for something else. Because your girl can't cook. This is just a little bitty kitchen. I didn't buy this house for me. I bought it generally for my daughter. I bought it for her when she was in college. And I don't know who made closets this big. I mean, you can't put no clothes in there. That's why it's 50 pair of shoes in the living room. This house is too small. I came from a house with having 2 walk-in closets. So this is like, so anyways, anything that we want to close with. And I want to say thank you to each and every one for sharing your time, for coming on. So we're going to plan to be on Thursday. I'm sending love to each and every one of you because love conquers hate and love conquers mess. Honestly, it does. And I appreciate you, producer. Because I'm going to tell you, when I looked at that, I was like, I really hadn't been on social media. I'm like, he was really on there and y'all were really on there commenting. I had to unplug. I had to unplug because I was tired. So anything you want to close with?
No, that's it.
So listen, y'all, show some love. Please put the thing up. So if you can donate to Producer Jay, Cash App, $1987. It goes because he helps me to keep the residents and keep the community, keep everyone, to keep America informed, because Flint is not unique. These type of problems can happen anywhere. Issues, the water, which they have. They happen in there was one in Maryland. There was one in Benton Harbor and other places. And so when we talk about how do we get people involved, get involved in your local government. Get involved, because you can't complain about it if you're not voting and you're not involved. You can't. And so for those who are my tribe who show up to speak, keep showing up, keep speaking, keep expressing how you feel at the podium. Know what your rights are. Know what they are. Merck 76, I didn't see you on there. M. Kersey, sending love back to you too. So I want to say to each and every one, if you can donate to Cash App, $Producer J 1987. He takes Zelle, and the Zelle is hcrcga@gmail.com. So I appreciate each and every one of you, and understanding that I don't do this for the pay. I promise you, I never had such a poorly paid job, but I am rich in capital from my community. That I feel I am rich in capital from my community, and that I appreciate. That is what I truly appreciate. And I appreciate the colleagues that I work with, Dennis Pfeiffer, Councilman Jerry Winfrey Carter, and Jonathan Jarrett. I appreciate them for being independent thinkers. Although Jonathan, sometimes you may be a little bit too independent, but I still appreciate you, love you. Campaign for him and his fairness, and he explains why he does things. And Councilwoman Winfrey Carter, look, nobody better not bring, we get that 5th vote, no agendas late, because she ain't buying it. She's not. Don't you bring them past that Thursday date, Wednesday, Friday, because JWC is not buying. Point of order. Clerk, when did you receive this? That's past the date. So don't bring nothing late to JWC. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I want to play something before we leave, though.
Okay.
If I got your approval.
Oh God, is it good or bad?
It's good. It's good.
Okay, well, let's do it.
George, I can't get ahead for the red rooster to keep pecking, to treat me like a hen. I mean, the red rooster and the elephant in the house is the red rooster here calling us up, calling the shots. Red rooster, hello, are you listening? Oh my God! What? I never did understand about a rooster. When I first got married and got my son, the first thing I offered to buy him a rooster, and my wife said, "What you gonna buy the boy?" Well, you said you can't have no rooster in Flint. I was going, and I was gonna see what a rooster is all about, cause I left Georgia too early. I said a whole lot of biddies running around. They treat them and they eat them. Step on one by accident, you can kill them about so many. And I wonder where they come from. And I ain't been. See, I can't even get used to this Flint, Michigan, because people like Handkerchief Head, Nick Rose, or whatever they is. I'm trying to find out which one they are. Hey, the rooster moving around over there. Okay, and another thing,
Mr. Mitchell,
ma'am,
please refrain from using derogatory language. Thank
that's
you.
That's real language. Wait a minute, honey. I'm trying to figure out what's. Anyway, Happy New Year, everybody. Well, every New Year's I'll be trapped in the streets, going through the New Year party I had in Grand Blanc 3 years in a row, and they playing that. And the DJ playing that white boy music and all that stuff and do the bunny track. I can't hardly track. And only played Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk. That's the only thing he played out there about that high school out across the street where that gas station at. And it was snow. But the woman didn't want to go buy stuff. That's why I went with it and barely made it. Anyway, how much time I got, Davina?
30 seconds.
Yes, dear. But man, I feel like I'm hen-picked already. Rooster picked. Before I even get there. Pick me, Davina. How about that? What? Happy New Year, everybody. Stay tuned. We're going to get our money or else. Tyler ain't going to see to that.
Oh my God. We need to do a short of that one. He said rooster peg, hen peg. Oh my God. Oh, we need to do a short of that one.
Listen, he lit into her. I don't remember what happened that meeting. But
yeah,
before that, it was something that led up to that. And when she had been, she had been on him, I think the previous meeting, earlier that night, and he finally had a chance, and he ate her alive.
Yeah, they didn't let him speak, I believe. And I think we were in committee, and they didn't let him speak. That's what, and people can say, Ariel know what he be saying. He know what's going on.
That was
he
classic.
know. Yep. Gloria Davis and Councilman Burns, did you see the post on the Dale Lewis post with all the Councilman Jarrett's information on it? Is she allowed to do that? Well, she likes doxing, and we know that she likes doxing people. And so our Thursday one is going to be about, we're going to talk about it, because like I said, I'm going to put up the post where she changed the post and sent it to the pastor on me. We're going to talk about Councilman Jarrett. We're going to talk about these things. And then she plays victim. You don't get to be both. You don't get to be the pyromaniac and the fireman. You don't get to stand there with gasoline and matches, torch the house, and then be the fireman and put it out and claim something's wrong. You don't get to do both. You just don't. So, Christina, hen-pecked, and I mean rooster pecked. That one was. I try to get a face where I just drop my head, and it just, Lord, I was crying.
Oh, Dennis.
Somebody joining us from Jamaica. Oh, Tari joining from Jamaica. Listen, Look, I could use some stuff. So, anyways, I want to say thank you to each and everyone, especially those who are still up with us tonight. Thank you for sharing your time. Thank you for listening. We will be doing. Are we good for Thursday? Producer Jane, 9:30.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about that. We're going to show and discuss what she's put up. I am 100%. Can you put up that one that I sent you, the last one, where it had that Linda Pendleton on there, and she's talking about tune in to the show. It looks like Liddell was the Linda Pendleton doing a copycat peg, because when she put that one up, she doctored that and sent the post to Pastor Harris, president of the Concerned Pastors, and she sent that to him. And he called and asked me, did I put up a post stating I was going to talk about Liddell and Eva? He asked me this, and I told him, no, I did not. He said, well, what did you put up? I said, I put up the Watch My Show, and we have to talk about hot topics. And he said, can you send that to me? I said, yeah. Sent it right to him. And what he sent back was the one she sent. Liddell sent that to him. Yep, this is the one. So the person, Linda Pendleton, who doxed, because we're going to talk about doxing the next show. Linda Pendleton doxed everybody, literally everybody. She altered the line in the post, sent this to Pastor Harris, altered the font, sent it to Pastor Harris with her lying self, and said, I sent this. I did not. And on it states, please tune in 10 a.m. every Saturday morning with Talking with Tanya. I will be discussing hot topics and hot issues about my colleagues, Councilwoman Liddell Lewis and Councilwoman Eva Worthing, and put the three fires. Now, she was a lying red rooster on this one because I didn't make that post. And she sent it to Pastor Harris, president of the Concerned Pastor. She's a lying fraud. He called me about it. And I told him I didn't do that. And I sent him what my actual post was. I said, Pastor Harris, I didn't do that. And he said, just something told me just to give you a call, to see. I said, I didn't do that. I said, I don't make posts with their names in it. So thank you. So this was the real post. Thank you. Producer Jay, you on fire. This is the real post, y'all. Tanya Burns, please tune in 10 a.m. this Saturday morning with Talking with Tanya. I will be discussing hot topics and hot issues. She took that, altered it, redid everything, put my name, took my identity, took my social media flyer, took everything about me and robbed me of it and stole it and made up a lie and sent it to the pastors. I'm going to turn the pastors against her. It won't work. No weapon formed against me will prosper. Didn't work. This was the post she added in that I stated. And you can see in the fake post, the lines and where she was trying to get that together and sent it to him. Just a big old fraud, liar. I mean, this is just crazy. And so we're going to talk about what she does, but plays victim to her council members. We're going to talk about this because this is what she does. She made a fake post, sent it to Pastor Harris, and stated, I made that post on my Facebook page and said, look at what she said about me and Eva. She's the problem. You're lying person. You're a liar. The truth ain't in you. Truth ain't beside you. The truth ain't around you. She made a fraudulent post and then sent it with Linda Pendleton. She had that one up. Now, Liddell, you're just wrong. You're not right. You're not right. And so we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about other things that she does, and she becomes the victim. You don't get to be, like I said, the pyromaniac starting the fire and then be the fireman to put it out with the hose. You don't get to do that. Berta Baby said, I went on her page and dragged her for filth, stalked my page, but trust the screenshot. I got it. She took her page down talking about what she was going to do to my kids. Wow. Well, I've had all kind of little crazy little things sent to me, but a lot of the stuff is traceable. I'm just telling you. It's traceable. And so, Berta, I'm sorry that happened to you. I mean, the stuff that she does is just crazy. It's crazy. We know Liddell Lewis is a liar. She sent that to the concerned pastors. She sent that to Pastor Alfred Harris, who was the president of the concerned pastors. She sent it to him, and she lied. She's a liar. She's a bold-faced liar. She's a manipulator. She manipulates people. She manipulates people's words. She's a liar and a manipulator and a gaslighter.
Well, I told you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I said, well, I told you what she did to me besides doxing me. She doxed
me. Oh,
me.
You got doxed too, didn't you?
I got doxed.
She got doxed.
Yeah, but see, my dox, and Stephanie called me because obviously my dox had been up for a couple of days. Hell, the damn information that she had for me wasn't even right. And Stephanie was like, they got your address on there. I'm just concerned. I was like, hell, I don't even know who address that is. But I really, go ahead.
No, you really what?
I really knew she was damn crazy about 2 years ago when she told me that I didn't live in Flint. And then I guess she went to my personal page and saw where I lived at. And then she started sending me news articles of things that was going on in my community that I should be worrying about. She sent like 10 articles.
You didn't tell me that. She's a nasty help. She didn't know what going on to her. Look, she need to pay back that food stamp money. You took that girl's food stamp bridge card and used it up, ran it up over y'all agreement when the girl was using that money to go see her daughter who just died a month ago. 7-year-old daughter died of a rare blood cancer next door to Liddell. Liddell grew up with her, and she was trying to hustle to get money so she can go to the children's hospital to see her daughter. Liddell didn't give her the money. Now, I'm not saying selling your food stamps, but if you a mom and your baby in the hospital dying or sick with a rare blood cancer and you need money, you're going to do what you got to do as a parent. And Liddell kept the money. She didn't pay her. Told her, I'm not going to pay you. Now, y'all know Mays had a recording that.
Nasty black lady. You's a nasty black lady.
So we see how she do people. I got the recording. Mays had a recording of it. So we have to, look, recording. That's where she told him that she had this food stamp, and she wouldn't give her the money. Lady's daughter passed away, 7 years old. May she rest in little angel heaven. But Liddell is just out cold. She's a mean person. She's diabolical. So, but she's underneath the leadership of Bishop Christopher Martin, who has got more scandals going on than the series scandal with Olivia Pope and Fitzgerald. She got more scandals going. He does. And it's a mess. It's a mess. I didn't put one thing up about him on my page. Not one. Because you can read it all over. When the guy came on, he did a video. We're going to talk about that too. And then the young lady, I can't put her up. She used every cuss word in the book. She says, I'm taking this to hell. And she did. And then she took it another 6, 7, 8, 10 feet below hell. So she cussed them not out. She cussed them down to the ground. Literally to the ground.
What was troubling to me with that, and like I said, I looked at a little bit of it, but what was troubling for me is the half of the people not half, but some of the people that's under your leadership and guidance, you dragging them in text messages.
That part. Did you? Okay, the lady, I forget her name. She was on Something in Peace. Did you find her to be credible?
I Honestly, I didn't look at much. I know there was one lady about the son. I did see the lady about the son that gave the $3,000 or something.
That's her.
Okay.
No, I think that's another one. I got to go back and watch. Well, let me say the lady in the blue shirt who had like the little short dreads, I believe that they are. I found her to be extremely credible because when people talk, Black people as a race, we don't talk about suicide. We say like, you're gonna be all right. I have always told people that one, I believe that you should get help when you need help. Don't tell people that they're okay because some people aren't okay. When she opened up and shared that her daughter was considering suicide, she had to get therapy. I believe what she said. I believe her. I do believe her. Because what he did not come out and do and say she was not truthful in what she said. He did not. And certain things you take it apart. And I didn't listen to the full entirety, but I do believe her. And I'm sorry if she's watching that this happened to her. I'm sorry that any of the people that they felt they could trust their pastor, that he was not trustworthy. I'm sorry for that because he helps to continue to perpetrate his fraud and the hurt on this community. Bishop Christopher Martin, who stands up at the podium with Mayor Neely, is part of the problem. Her name is Kenya Demps. Okay. I'm sorry that happened to her. I really am. He definitely is keeping this community oppressed by suppressing the truth.
That's for Liddell.
If you need to talk, there's a lifeline out there if you're ever suicidal. You can do the 988 lifeline. If you ever need help, reach out. You're never in this alone. You're not. And sometimes you can feel so isolated that you are alone. But I believed her. But underneath, I see why Liddell is the way she is because her bishop is a liar. Liddell is a liar. Liddell made a whole lying post about me. Her bishop made a whole lying text thread. I mean, he just dragged people. And he also lied and said some stuff that I brought what's his name here. I brought what's his name here. And I brought the bus and I did all of this and all this so crazy stuff. I'm like, y'all need to stop. No. Oh, and the funny part, they said, when Jedediah comes here, I guess I'm an old cooler bobcat or I don't know, house guy. I don't know what you got. I'm not at all. And that he stays at my house. Never been here. And I mean, literally, don't let me find out that came from Christopher Martin.
Well, you also have boyfriend in California, don't you?
Yeah, I didn't never understand where they kept saying I had a boyfriend in California. I never understood where that come from. I never understood. But when people say these crazy, outlandish lies, you are correct. Jedediah is an advocate, which she told Gus that she had a problem, that he comes here and he's a problem. People can be advocates and go wherever they want to go. They don't have to just advocate just at the city that they're in, because he did advocate for the city he lived in. He does it. Liddell, I'm beginning to think maybe you got a little crush on him or something, because you can't seem to keep him out your mouth. So, Councilwoman Carson, just loud and wrong.
Well, Liddell can also use this number as well because it says mental health struggles and emotional distress. So, she can hit that 988.
Well, she's got some mental health issues, and we know she's a liar underneath a lying bishop who claims me and Jerry Winfrey Card. I signed the JWC. He did blame you too. We both got blamed. I think I took the brunt of it, unfortunately, because the mayor consistently sends him out. But he did say that something that me and you did was trifling. Trifling, Bishop Martin, was your whole persona, your text messages, your treatment of your church members. But he always has got somebody to say something. Always. He's just always running his mouth about everything. And like I said, I never liked him. And this is why. So, Producer Jay,
I think what we should do Thursday too is we should play his apology and then open up the phone lines and let the viewers let us know if it was legitimate.
Yeah, but all the people he needs to apologize to, he got them blocked. How you going to apologize to the people you got blocked?
Well, I'm gonna tell you now. I did see the apology. That was a complete.
It was terrible.
In
Hey,
other,
Sheena.
yeah, I mean he should have hired a public relations firm for that backlash because that was pitiful.
It was pathetic under a new level of patheticism. Yes, I made up a word, but when he did that, and I think he was mustering up a cry. I'm like, dude, you. And then they kept coming. He affected people's real lives.
I'm sorry.
And was cold.
I repent. I'm sorry. I repent.
He was cold, callous, and non-respondent. And the people who got the apology, he had them blocked. So did he mean it? No. And look, Christopher Martin, I'm not giving you the title of a clergy because you're not worthy of it. And Bishop Shear should strip you because you lying, you tearing this community apart. You shouldn't be representing the COGIC. You lie consistently. You drag your own church members. And then you drag anyone that they sick you to go after. Sick them, boy. And he does it. You owe me an apology. You owe Councilman J. Winfrey Carter an apology. You owe Councilman Dennis Pfeiffer an apology. When Lion Liddell had you up there believing she called you a monkey, you owe Dennis Pfeiffer an apology. It's just, he stood at that conference with him, had them up there telling half-truths and lies. Half-truths and lies. You come to city council, you pretend like that podium is your altar, and you need to repent there. Repent what we can see. How do you repent to the people? You repent to the Lord. I mean, you don't even know how you a bishop and you don't know who you're repenting to. And unblock all the people. He did that BS darn apology. Yeah. Hey, Sheena's in there. Hey, Sheena B.
I repent to the people was actually stood out to me, and he said it a few times, and it was running through my head. Well, what the hell are you repenting to them for? You need to be repenting to the Lord.
That part. He mad because I'm repenting to the people because I'm mad that they caught me. I'm mad that they uncovered me. Yeah, I'm mad because the Lord unveiled that cover off of me and presented me to the world for what he was and who he is. That's what he was mad about.
He mad he got caught. That's the saying. He ain't mad because what he said. He mad because he got caught.
He got caught. And baby, whoever the young lady who don't ever make her mad again because she ain't playing. Gutter Blacks, I said the same thing. You said you repent to the Lord. You got it, Gutter Black. Don't ever make her mad because she had receipts. Girl, send them receipts. We were talking about other people. We want to see them. They done probably offered her some money. Don't put no more out there. What you need? 10, 15, 25, 50,000. We got to get it. Because how you over the COGIC in Flint? Tell me how. Because that's making the Church of God in Christ, with all of that stuff being said, is horrible things were said. Horrible things were read. Horrible things in those text messages. He has no position and should not be a bishop over anything. He shouldn't be able to be a bishop over pouring his own cereal. He should not be a bishop over pouring his milk. He should not even be a bishop over making him some coffee. And then all the lying. How you the lying bishop? How? We got to expect better from people. We do. We got to expect better. Because when you don't set the threshold high or set the standard, you allow people like the lying bishop to come in to tear up your community. And then they were sending them, because she had told Whitson, I had seen them, that was probably me in the chat coming after you. You send your church parishioners to go after people on social media? She's like, some of that was probably us. No, we were doing that. So you sending your church members? Sent us church members. So I believe what she was saying, that she was telling the truth. I absolutely believe her. And on many different levels and reasons why. But you send your church parishioners after, and then you go home, and now you're talking about the church members in the chat that went to battle for you. They went to battle for this man. And he went home and was on a text thread. Basically, you suckers, send me your tithes. I'm going to talk about you.
Call him a pulpit pimp.
Well, he was pimping his congregation. Many people feel that way. So Arthur Woodson he probably on I Hate Chris chapter 7. Because he wearing that out. So we gonna get off of here. So Thursday, and we will have, if it's anything that you want to talk about, put it underneath the chat. We'll put the producer Jay, if we can get the I got a bunch of stuff that we need to cover. But something that you want, inbox me and we'll talk about it. We'll see. So producer Jay, again, and to each and every one of you, see Sheena back there, and it says self-proclaimed bishop. That part. Bishop Shear needs to remove him. You cannot be over the bishop here when you send your congregation to go after people, as they call in the world, when you send them to go after. You can't be in the church and doing the things of people of the world. You can't do that.
They'll go for anything, though. They'll go for anything, because the behavior you should be questioning is your bishop that's just being a thug out here when he ain't in the pulpit.
Right. Sheena put, so who has a 4-year-old baby? Have we figured out? I don't know. But they put it in the chat, in one of the chats, because it was sent to me. I don't know, but I hope it ain't him, because you talking about burning the house down for real. That stuff is serious. Just the text messages, were crazy. Look, if it's him, look, just pack up and go be a missionary over in another country. That's all you got to do. Oh my God. Anyways, I want to thank you, everyone. And Sheena Beckton joined in. And I want to thank you, producer Jay. And Sheena is one of our moderators. I think Patrick Jean then went to sleep because he needs his rest. So we're going to get off of here. A lot of great things. So this is your fault, producer Jay, that we on here this long.
You doing good timing, honestly.
Really? Well, look, we getting off of here because
what was the name that called 2 weeks ago? What was his name?
Oh, wait a minute. He says, I'm up. Okay, Patrick, you should be resting.
What was his name? That called in a couple of weeks ago.
Which one?
Called in late.
Carl.
Was it Carl Lewis that called in?
Carl Lewis called in and talked forever. Now,
yeah,
Carl,
wait a minute. What he said?
I would like to hear Carl's take on it.
You good for 5.
Wait a minute. I want to hear Carl's take on it. Because it's got to be, that would be interesting. I'm going to have to call Carl. We may have to
call him and tell him, we'll send him a link.
We got, he don't need me on. Look, Carl and Carol were on together. Man. Woo. Let them two come on. So anyway, look, we're gonna be working on it. We'll get the flyer out and then we can get it on early. It's gonna be good. So I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm sending you love from my heart to your heart. Love does conquer all, and it conquers hate. I believe that. And stay steadfast. When we don't believe, we have to stand on our faith, and we have to not doubt the Lord. We have to. So I want to tell you again, Producer Jay, thank you. And to my moderators, Sheena Beckton, and to Patrick Jean, y'all rock. You kept the chat going and kept people engaged. I could not do any of this without my outsiders. And for all of you. So I appreciate them because they live in other places, Alabama, South Carolina, and Atlanta, Georgia. So I appreciate my team that I work with, social media. Tune in tomorrow morning. I'm going to give 810 News Media Group a shout out at 9 to 11 o'clock a.m. The Bump with 810 News Media Group. Tune in to their show. Jasmine, good night. And to Beverly Byers, Carol and Carol commentary next time. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all, I just want to watch. I don't even want to be on the show because them two together, that's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire.
Yeah, we might need to see if we can make that work.
She can do it. I'm surprised she ain't called me tonight. So I'm gonna call her. I'm gonna wake up behind up. And she on second shift. So we know Carol will be up all night. And so look, we're gonna have to talk about that. Well, I'm gonna have to talk to you about a time because Carol can't do but late. That would I'm gonna just watch. Look, I'm gonna be a spectator. So I appreciate each and every one of y'all, your comments. And I'm sending, and we're getting off for real now because your girl hungry. Okay. I'm hungry. And so Producer Jay, thank you. Patrick Jean, you held it down the full time. I appreciate you. Sheena B jumped in. She probably was trying to paint another room or paint the outside, probably painting rocks in her garden. Some that suburbanites do. Sheena, I'm just playing with you. I love you too. Love you too, Patrick Jean. But she's been doing a whole HGTV makeover. So anyways, we appreciate each and every one of you. And look, let's do our going out music. Thank y'all. We gonna look. Producer Jay, can I get you to do a late night tomorrow night? If it's Carol and Carol.
Yep.
Y'all, we hold them to it. Listen, I'm gonna be ready. Look, let me call Carol. I need you to.
So you're already cutting into my gym time tonight. See, when we get off here, I'm going to the gym.
Look, that's where I need to be. Look, I'm a menopause and I have 3 kids.
And then I'm going to work tomorrow. But if you want to do one tomorrow and you can get those 2, you have my commitment that I will 100% do it because that will be off the chain.
So listen, I think we're going to do it. I'm going to be reaching out to both of them. So put in the comments, if y'all want to see Carl and Carol tomorrow, put a 1 in the comment. Put a 1. If you want to see Carl and Carol, if they can do a late night tomorrow, put a 1 in the comment because Tasha said that's going to be fire. Man, it is. Sheena, you put like 1,001. Oh, we got to let them know. The people want them. The people. Eartha Henderson, she got a 1. Sheena B. M. Kersey, Erica Carroll got a 1. Look at the 1s. Oh, man. So listen. Okay. See, some of us take stuff far. See, look, Erica Carroll, she did a whole line. It's going to have to be late, M. Kersey. Oh, not the pastor. What about 5 1s? Beverly Burns, not you too. Tari. Tari, get off the number 1 key. So listen, this is going to because I'm gonna contact them. Because Carol ain't been on in the
we got to set that one up for real. We ASAP.
Oh, that part. So I'm gonna reach out to Carol when I get off. So I want to tell you to each and every one of you, thank you, and thank you to. We got some work to do. That's what we're doing tomorrow. So I appreciate you, Producer Jay, and each and every one of you, and to my mods, Patrick Jean, thank you. Sheena Beckton, thank you. And y'all have a blessed and wonderful night. Put that music on. We out of here. Let's wind it up.
It's the Tanya Bird Show, don't you know? Like and share, let's make it glow. Flint City News, we bring the heat. When we fight, we beat defeat. I won't give up, I won't stand down. This city's heart will never drown. Together we rise, we've got the power. In unity we find the hour. The residents deserve much more. Let's break these chains, open the door.